Okay, folks, welcome to the Kevin Holly Show.
How do I stop it?
Viewer discretion is advised.
You are listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
The Kevin Holly Show.
The Kevin Holly Show. The Kevin Holly Show. Kevin Holly.
Welcome to the Kevin Holly Show.
You are listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
I'm strictly dickly.
Come on, if you're fucking, you're listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
You are listening to the Kevin Holly Show. And Kevin Holly and everyone else.
You're listening to the Kevin Holly Show. Why? Because your mother told you not to. Turn the freaking volume up, you monkey.
You are listening to my best friend on the Kevin Holly Show.
You are listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
He needs some milk.
It's worse than throwing cats in the river. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Come on, if you're fucking, you're listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
You're listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
My name is Morgan Freeman, and you're listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
You got the two brothers coming at me.
And it's not going to you, Kevin. Do you know why? Because you're a cunt.
Come on, if you're fucking, you're listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
Trying to call the Kevin Holly Show. Hello, nobody's answering. Muy bien, como va? Well, I tried to call you, Kevin, and, you didn't pick up the phone. So, I guess nobody's listening. Nobody cares. That's right. Nobody cares. Anyways, call me back, Kevin. Hello.
You are listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
Come on, if you're fucking, you're listening to the Kevin Holly Show.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
This radio person is the whole problem.
Hello?
Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial?
I've got a pirate radio station.
Nobody knows who he is.
You out there? You listening?
Well, hello, everybody. And welcome to the Kevin Holly Show. I am your 5'7" and 3/4" studly host, Kevin Holly. And I'd like to welcome Lionel Nation listeners and the IRN Internet Radio Network, the IRN Broadcast, IRNBroadcast.com. I'd also like to invite all of our listeners to the chat room. If you're listening via my website, which is simply kevinhollyshow.com. Click that little, I don't know, what is that, a little cloud like you're talking? And you can join us in the chat room, also on Spreaker.com. I've already got Hoss, Trucker Rob, and AA Ron in the chat room. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Episode 133. You know, next week is our 2-year anniversary at the Dump Tower. So, figured who would be a really good guest for next week for that. Hit up a couple of local comics in the Tampa Bay area, and one of the funniest dudes around said, all right. Tommy Gill will be in studio live next week. Last week, you may have enjoyed the sounds of one Todd Murphy from American Songbox. That was really special. He played a couple of tunes in studio, had a nice long conversation with him. It was really cool. Played some games. Oh man, I forgot to hit a button. This one. What?
Hello, motherfucker.
Welcome, everybody. Going right to the chat room. I'm looking at Aaron. Which chat is better, Kevin Holly Show or Spreaker? That's a fantastic question, Aaron. I would say they're both exactly the same. Spreaker has its ups and downs. My website's pretty tight, so I don't know. If you're having difficulties ever, just tune into the IRN. Go right onto IRN.com, IRNbroadcast.com. Or go into TuneIn.com if you use the TuneIn app and just type in IRN. That's the second one that pops up. Or you could get the Kevin Holly Show app in your Google Play Store for Android devices. It's free. We don't ask for a bunch of crap like permit. We're not Zuckerberg over here. You know what I mean? We don't ask for anything. We just let you listen. That's all it is. It's a really tiny little app, kind of like your host. Wow, Captain Buttmunch in the house. Check that out. In the chat room. I highly suggest you join the chat room because if you do and you play along, you might win something. Swag pack. I'm going to be mailing out Chihuahua puppies in July as swag packs. They're all DACA recipients, don't worry. All these Chihuahuas are anchor babies. They were born here in Newport Richey, Florida. Downtown Newport Richey, right, 10 minutes from the dump tower where I am presently sitting on my butt. This chair is still kind of warm from Ryan Hoppy last night. It's kind of gross, really. I mean, just because it's warm. It's like, why is my chair warm? It's like, did it keep the heat in the whole time? I don't even know, man. I had a blast on Hoppy Hour last night, though. I'll tell you what. That was a lot of fun. If you didn't tune in, check out the just hashtag Ryan Hoppy or Hoppy Radio and get all that good stuff. Or go on to Spreaker. So there's a Cubs game on tonight. Yeah, they're playing the Pirates at 8 o'clock, like right now. First pitch. Boom, right now. And I'm going to get right into it. Because we have a lot of listeners in Chicago, and we also have a lot of listeners in Pittsburgh, of all places. Through networking and friends and mutual friends. There's, a lot of people in, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and whatnot. So, that being said, I'm a Cubs fan. And anybody that knows me knows I'm a diehard Cubs fan. I bleed Covey Blue. I've been a Cubs fan since I was a little kid. And grew up in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is a northwest suburb of Chicago. Thank you, Buttmunch, in the chat room. He says the Cubs can eat shit. Oh, man, I sound like I'm eating shit right now. I just had a bag of chips, and it's coming back up. It tastes like chips still. Anyway, I'd rather watch The Glick Show. More interesting, says Rob Haas. Thank you, Trucker Rob. I watched The Glick Show last Saturday, and he was drunk. He's probably still sleeping it off right now. That's why he's not in the chat room yet. Our chat room moderator and our show search engine, Mr. Chris Glick. Anyway, that being said, I'm a diehard Cubs fan. Now, I appreciate the Pittsburgh Pirates, as I do most National League teams, cuck the Cardinals. But, they put together a decent franchise, a nice farm system. They got a lot of fans, most of those fans are pretty cool, I guess. They have probably the best quality stadium. I haven't been there, but I've done a lot of reading about PNC Park, and it's really nice. Was that the old Three Rivers Stadium, or is that where the Steelers play? I don't know. I believe it's PNC Park though that I'm referring to, where the Pittsburgh Pirates play. And, look, Haas says that he passed by Cubs Stadium earlier today. Wow, that's cool. It's actually called Wrigley Field, but, man, that's cool. You were in Wrigleyville, basically, Haas. That's awesome, man. You probably had a great time. A lot of great people there. Anyway, so I figured there's a Pens game tonight. It's hockey season still, okay? It's like playoff hockey season. And my Tampa Bay Lightning, okay, go Bolts, they are in the playoffs now. I believe they won their division. And a lot of you know that a family member of mine is a Lightning cheerleader. Well, it's kind of cool that they made the playoffs again. She's still employed for a little bit longer. But that being said, it's a Pens game. And I don't want to jinx my Pittsburgh fan friends by talking about the Pens game. You know, I know they're very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Passionate about their hockey team up there, you know, and their football team. But it seems like they kind of fall back on the Pirates a little bit. And that's kind of the reason I brought this up to start off the show. Yes, Captain Buttmunch in the chat room, there are hockey players in Florida. We have a great hockey team, man. In fact, when you go downtown into Tampa, the Amalie Arena, that's where it's at. You got the convention center and Channel Side and the whole downtown district. It's beautiful over there. And you're only a hop, skip, and a jump away from Ybor City and places like that. So, yeah, there's hockey people here. Lots of them. And but Pirates fans, I don't know. There's not a lot of Pirates fans out here. And, you know, that being said that the Cubs are playing the Pirates tonight, I thought I would bring up, you know, just a couple of jokes. Just a couple of Pirates jokes. Why not? One of my favorites, why doesn't Harrisburg have a professional baseball team? Because then Pittsburgh would want one. Hey, oh, where's my joke drum? I'm going to joke drum myself tonight. That's what I'm going to do. You know why? You guys want to know why? Because I'm all alone. I'm all alone in this large, quiet dump tower. Haunted dump tower. Filbert crapped out. I think I'm going to fire him. Let's take a vote in the chat room. Who says I should fire Filbert and just like patiently await the return of the prodigal son, Aaron? And Glick's going to probably get here first. I think Glick is coming next month on a little vacay. But yeah, anyway, so I'm alone. And I got a joke drum. And I got more Pittsburgh Pirates jokes. Let's see what else we got here. What do you call a Pittsburgh Pirate in the World Series? An umpire. Hey! What's the difference? How about this one? What is a Pittsburgh Pirates fan's favorite wine? We can't beat the Cubs. Oh, Cubs game right now. How do you stop a Pittsburgh Pirates fan from beating his wife? You dress her in a Cubs uniform. Hey! I'll tell you
Get wrecked.
What do Pirates fans use for birth control? Their personalities, everybody. Yeah!
Real bad.
What do you mean real bad, Mr. Stone Guy? I thought that was great. That was great. Anyway, how do you, I don't like that one. Let's see here. I got a whole bunch of them here. What's the difference between a bucket of shit and a Pittsburgh Pirates fan? The bucket! Oh! How do you like that, Tom? Woohoo! Anyway. So, I don't know. I'm just looking at all these. They're so stupid. Oh, my God. I should have wrote my own. I like this one. How many Pittsburgh Pirates fans does it take to change a light bulb? None. Lava lamps don't burn out, man. Hey!
Go where no man has gone before.
Pittsburgh, everybody. Anyway, so I have a feeling that the Cubs are going to spank the Pirates tonight. And I just kind of want to lay into my buddies up there in Pennsylvania just because. Look at Aaron in the chat room. Hey, Tom. I love it. If you're trapped in a room with a lion, a rattlesnake, and a Pirates fan, you have a gun with only 2 bullets. What do? You shoot the Pirates fan twice. Oh, hey! Why can't the Pirates use the internet? Because they can't get 3 W's in a row. Hey-oh. Oh, wow. I took my broken vacuum cleaner back to the store, and they put a Pirates jersey on it, and now it sucks again. Hey! It's never ending! Woohoo! All right, so let's get into the show. It's all me. It's all me by myself. But I do have a possible surprise coming up in the first hour. Yeah. We'll see if it happens or not. I'm actually quite excited about it. I also have a few things I wanted to get into and talk about. Just stuff, you know what I mean? The first hour is going to be a little rough just because I'm not drunk enough yet. I'm just kidding. I'm plenty drunk. I drink coffee. So that's getting drunk, right? Coffee is. Yeah, all right, good. Yeah, I'm highly caffeinated, everybody. Man, I just got so many things. Hey, Ron, can Filbert come to open the door? No. He is a backdoor man, but... Whoa, what was that? We got stuff going on here, man. We got things just blowing up and making noise. Okay. It's my older sister. She doesn't realize that we're live on the air via the WBR-FM. WBRFM.com over in the UK. Anybody out there listening, go to kevinhollyshow.com and let me know you're out there. I want to hear from my friends over in the UK. That would be really cool, man. So, okay. So many things are happening, and you look at the political spectrum, the political climate right now, and I start thinking back like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, because I'm an old guy, you know, and there's just so many different things that I kind of want to talk about and get into with that, but I'm going to wait a little while, but I promise you, I'm probably going to go political tonight, and maybe not like pro-Trump or anti-Hillary or pro-guns or anti-guns or, you know, there's just like a message I think that I could give to the almighty listener out there. Aaron's going political in the chat room. Trump administration is currently putting a plan together to drug test welfare recipients. Well, that may or may not be on the docket tonight, Aaron. Well, let's talk about it real quick. That's actually a good subject, and I'm glad that people are in the chat room like Aaron, because that really helps me with my content, or lack thereof. No, but seriously, that's part of the show. You know, I really like you guys to interact with me. Call the show. Hotlines are wide open tonight. 727-237-6010. That's 727-237-6010. Also hit us up on Twitter at Kevin Holly Show 4. That's the number 4. So let's talk about that. You think about welfare recipients. Should they be taking drug tests before they get their benefits? Mostly food benefits, I would imagine, because that's probably the majority of the benefits out there. You know, there's also free health care, like, Medicaid, or what do they call it in Florida? Sunshine Health or something like that. There's also, cash assistance that sometimes people get when they're on welfare. But let's concentrate on the food aspect of it for a second here. And you guys are confusing me in the chat room. I look at a phone number, I'm like, that's a joke, Captain Buttmunch. So, you think about the food aspect of it. Now, let's say that, let's ask a question. Who really does get and receive food stamps? If you want to call it food stamps or SNAP or EBT or, whatever, they all fall into the same category. Who gets government assistance to be able to purchase food? Now, a lot of people think it's poor people. Oh, it's just lazy people, poor people. But on the other side of the coin, there's also students. There's family members, like wives or husbands of spouses that have been deployed into the armed services, like the Army or the Navy. And these military spouses often get an EBT card and are able to purchase food because they're spouse is, serving overseas or something like that. That's a huge part of it. What about caretakers? Okay, people that care for elderly that may be on, food stamps. Well, their caretakers are often the people that you probably see at the supermarket, sliding that card with a cart full of groceries. And who knows what might be in that, in that cart. It might be, if it's old people, it might be prune juice. If it's a combat war veteran in a wheelchair in an assisted living facility because he doesn't have family and his benefits aren't, I don't know. But they have caretakers. And I'm just talking off the top of my head here, okay? But people get angry about who they see in line, and they're like, oh, look at that person buying all this crap. They should be drug tested. Okay. Well, what if there's a person that is on welfare that is prescribed pain relievers or is prescribed psychoptic? How do you say that word? My friend Sean Raz would know. The same psycho the psych drugs. You know what I'm talking about, like Xanax and stuff like that. Ritalin. Okay? Stuff like that. What about those people? They're not going to pass a drug test. So what are we really talking about? What kind of drug test? Are you going to test people for marijuana? Well, they got enough money to buy marijuana. They shouldn't get food stamps. Well, what if they're prescribed it? And they live in a state like Florida where it's, legal. So that guy's not going to, or girl's not going to pass that drug test. But what? You're going to deny that person with, a disability or, a hardship You're going to deny them food? I don't believe in it. Now, if they're only testing for like crack cocaine and there's no way to, or crystal meth or freaking bath salts or something like that, and there's no way to confuse the results with like poppy seeds on your hamburger bun, then okay, I'm totally cool with that. But I mean, there needs to be, a set of rules. And, like Aaron says, they should be drug tested. If they're prescribed it, that's different. Well, that's what I'm saying. Pot should be legal across the board, says Captain Buttmunch. They can't lose a job if they are prescribed it, so you can't deny the benefits, says Aaron. I beg to differ, my friend. I think that if we're speaking of marijuana, if you're talking about a marijuana-friendly medical state like Florida, not recreational, but medically, I would imagine that certain jobs, positions, careers like, I don't know, a machinist, a truck driver, a pilot, those guys are not going to be allowed to induce in their medical marijuana and drive heavy machinery. I mean, let's face it, unless there's no THC, but isn't that what they're testing for? Do you understand where I'm going with this? So, I I don't necessarily disagree with drug testing for, welfare recipients. But at the same time, I think there needs to be a very solid set of rules. Like, what exactly are they looking for before you start taking food away from people? You know what I mean? And those people are using those food stamps to feed their kids and stuff too. You know, I mean, if you can't work and feed yourself, or you can only work a little bit and barely can feed, what if you have kids, you know? And don't give me that, oh, you should have had kids. Yeah, like I knew that 10 years ago when I had my first kid, well, for me, 13 years ago. And then I joined the Army when she was 5, and now I've got PTSD. And I'm missing a limb. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, and Aaron does have a very good point that the marijuana is not federally legal right now. Machinists love the space lettuce. Space lettuce is awesome, dude. I prefer jazz cabbage over, but space lettuce might be my my next little repertoire. But I bring this up because there's a story that I fell upon here, and it's a local story, and I'm not going to get into this. Isn't strange news. It's just like a headline, and I figured I'd just kind of delve into it. Is delve into it a phrase? I don't even know. But in Tampa, a local businessman now can grow his own medical marijuana in his backyard in a ruling that could have big implications for other patients. Now check this out. Joe Redner Sr., who has stage 4 lung cancer, took the issue to court, and a judge ruled Wednesday in his favor. While the ruling applies only to Redner, it opens the door for others to do the same as it concerns medical marijuana. At least 7 other suits have already been filed. The judge also scolded the state for dragging its feet on the issue. 71% of voters in Florida said yes to medical marijuana in this November's elections, but the Florida Department of Health said no to letting patients grow their own. Now, the judge in Redner's case ruled that it was an overstep by the state. So for Redner, now you may know Joe Redner Sr. as a Tampa strip club owner. I believe he owns the 2001 Odyssey, that one downtown there by West Shore with the little spaceship on the top with his space lettuce. But anyway, he says this is a miracle plant, and it solves so many problems that we have. While this ruling applies solely to Redner, again, it sets a legal precedent for other medical marijuana cardholders to grow their own. So some patients say the whole flower of the plant is more effective and it's much cheaper than the oils. You don't have to leave your house to get it. You know what I mean? Redner says he's lucky because he has money. He says he can afford it. So how about the people who need their medicine that can't get it? Do they think about the poor people? So, I mean, think about that. What is different from Joe Redner's medical condition to somebody without money that has the same medical condition? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know, Joe. I'm looking at the chat room. I'm going to refer to the chat room a lot tonight and the phones. But yeah, somebody in the chat room says the guy's a dick, so is his son. I don't know him at all. It makes me think of that movie, Larry Flint. What was it, the story about Larry Flint, the whole penthouse guy? And the gold wheelchair, and how he got shot, and he was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. But I don't know if he's a good dude or not, but I think that's a huge story. Because, if that gives people the opportunity to, grow their own you know, then you start thinking about, like, what if these guys want to start making money and they start selling it? Well, people are already selling it, right? But that's not a great answer. So you can't solve the world's problems in, you know, a night of discussion. It's just not going to happen. No one's ever going to solve all the world's problems. But in certain circumstances like this, I would agree that this dude should be allowed and maybe be monitored in a way, shape, or form, you know? I don't know. Let's take a phone call. Kevin Hawley Show, you are live. Are you there? Hello? 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 Whoa, there we go. Welcome to the Kevin Hawley Show.
Well, what's up, Kevin? How you doing, man?
I'm good. My phone system was not plugged in all the way.
You know, it tends to work better if you plug it in all the way, my friend.
It sure does. Now, while we were on the subject of it working better, I'm going to hit one button. Tell me if it's a little easier to hear me. Ready? Here we go. Is that better or worse?
It sounds the same.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to turn it off. So this would be Mr. Sean Raspatello from the first 42. First 52. Welcome to the show, dude.
How you been, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
I have not talked to you in a while as well, but I've been following you on social media, and I've been great, man. I'm really excited that you called, dude. Thank you so much. I'm solo tonight, so having a phone call is special. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, no worries. You know, it's nice when people reach out every once in a while and want to talk about the craziness that I talk about, so I like to do it here and there.
Oh, man, that's cool. I appreciate it, dude. And it's like there's so many things that I don't get to talk about on the show because we try to be comedy-based. We do stupid parodies. And, you know, I also like to interview musicians. Last week we had a guy playing guitar in here from an awesome band. And next week we got a stand-up and stuff. But, you know, when I'm not trying to entertain people or pick their brains and I'm alone in the studio, I like my mind just wanders and I think about all the crap that I've looked at on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, and watching the news. And bro, I go back and forth through all the channels, and I don't know who's better than who. I probably lean a little slightly right of center, but wow, the political climate right now, Sean, is unbelievable. There's so many things that are happening so quickly, you know, especially this week.
Well, you know, it's funny when you get into the political conversation with me because I stopped really paying attention to the sideshow. You know, I post stuff every once in a while, and I try to, if you notice, you follow me on Facebook and different formats, I'll post both sides of the argument on issues, and it's not even that I'm following it. I just kind of post it so that it's there if I need to reference it.
You're making me laugh.
I don't care. I mean, does it matter? I mean, really, at this point in time, does what those idiots in D.C. are doing, does it really matter to your daily life?
Yeah.
Can you really change?
There's probably like 6 or 10 on either side of the aisle that actually, you know, resonate with smart people, and the rest of it's a sideshow. And the whole Zuckerberg thing the last 2 days really, really cemented that for me. And I think it's funny that you say that because you throw stuff out on social media. This is one of the reasons I love following you. Excuse me. You'll throw stuff out there in almost like a neutral state. And you know that some of your friends are going to have this opinion, some of your other friends are going to have that opinion, and it just creates this back and forth. And then, like, I really enjoy it because I get to interact with people that, you know, I would normally not interact with that are kind of cool people. You know what I mean? So I think it's entertaining.
Yeah, you know, it is. And the nice thing about that is there's been times I've put that up, you know, different things up there, and it's changed my opinion based on the conversation that goes on.
Yep.
I try not to interact directly with a post. I try to use that post to you know, educate myself, see both sides, and see what comes of it. But the thing that I've been noticing here, and you brought it up, let's talk about Zuckerberg. And I didn't watch any of his bullshit. I haven't seen any of that. I really don't care to sit down and listen to what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to use this whole situation as an opportunity to point out yet another time that, you know, 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it be, and I've got a meme I'm going to dig up somewhere saved in my computer system here, where I had posted about Facebook stealing your data, Facebook selling your data, Facebook doing this, and now all of a sudden we got Zuckerberg sitting in front of Congress And everybody just wants to forget about the fact that us crazy conspiracy theorists warned you all 6-7 years ago that Facebook was mining your data. Facebook was using fake facial recognition to build a database and to connect everything together, and using algorithm to control the narrative. Mm-hmm. And now we have, the whole Russian probe with the election, and another country, played around in our election. Fuck the fact that the United States has played around in 180 elections throughout, history, or 180 countries throughout history. None of that matters. But now somebody messed with our election, so it matters now. Now it's
and
matters.
Sean, they were messing with our election. Not to interrupt you, but for the whole last my whole memory, 30 years easily. They were, our government was meddling in elections, and we were having people meddle in our elections, and nobody really. They all said it shouldn't happen. They all disagreed with it, but nobody did anything about it. But as soon as it happened with Trump, it was like, that's why he won. It's just like, I don't know. The double standards out there is kind of what gets me a lot, but that's not anything about what I kind of wrote down. I kind of want to pick your brain tonight, if you don't mind, and I appreciate that you called a few minutes early. That's awesome. I don't know what kind of time you got, but this whole Syria thing, when I saw what was going on, and you see the video on social media and a little bit on the news, where these little kids, little babies, are in it looks like a makeshift hospital room in Syria, and they're squeezing sponges on their faces with water, and there's kids crying, and it just looks horrendous and horrible. And those aren't child actors, but at the same rate, I started wondering, is this real? Is this one of those false flag things that we hear about? Everybody's seen those videos, and it doesn't make you crazy to question it. And then all of a sudden, there it is, on radio shows, people are calling in and saying, I don't know if I believe that really happened, or there's no evidence that it really happened. And Sean, do you think that what just happened in Syria with the Assad gassing his own people, allegedly, is that a tool to start another controversy? Another conflict, I should say.
If you look at my Facebook page right now, I have my profile picture is no U.S. military action in Syria. And the sad thing about that picture is now carried over at least 2 political administrations, if not 3. And the problem with Syria is this is not about Assad. This began because he doesn't want a pipeline ran through there that Western countries need and want.
And nobody says that on the news. Nobody brings that up. It's only in social media. You never hear about that on Fox, CNN, or anywhere.
Of course not. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know facts. Assad might not be a nice guy, but the last not nice guy we took out, which would have been Muammar in Egypt there, if taking him out is what brought the rise of ISIS, brought the rise of a majority of what we're seeing nowadays.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and I don't mean this in the worst connotation, but sometimes you need a madman to control the monkeys, to keep the monkeys in their cage. And that's what you need sometimes. That's not how we live in America. Unfortunately, some areas of America are turning into that, but that's not how it is here. But in certain areas of the world, you need that heavy hand to control those that are not just normally controllable. And again, I don't want to live in that country. You don't want to live in that country. Nobody listening to this broadcast wants to live in that country. Maybe people listening to this broadcast do live in that country, and they want to get the fuck out of that country. And I get that. Get the fuck out of that country. Find a country that's going to take you. But when you come to that country, forget what happened there and learn what you got to do here or there or wherever it be, France, whatever. But the main thing is here that to answer the Syria question is no, I don't believe that Assad made those attacks. Russia has come out multiple different times over the past 2 years even and said, listen, he turned in his chemical weapons years ago. If attacks happen, it's not by him, it's by the CIA or it's by the U.S. government or it's by the Israeli government. There's been reports I've been reading recently of some of these bombings that have been happening since this alleged chemical attack is actually being used, and it's allegedly Israel making the bombings, but it's being used to cover up war crimes committed by either the U.S. or Israel by supplying the rebels, the anti-Assad people with these chemical weapons that are being used. Even if it's not, keep in mind, it may not be sarin gas. It could be a chlorine gas.
That's what I keep
chlorine
hearing.
gas is going. Yeah, a chlorine gas could give a lot of the same things that you would see in a very light chemical weapon attack, causing the blue, the respiratory problems, different things like that. So it is feasible that what we're seeing now was an orchestrated event in order to try to draw the U.S. in, but we can't. People need to think about this. No matter how emotionally painful it is to watch that, if we take action there, we are stepping on many a feet, and we don't belong there. It's none of our business. We've done enough. We're occupying enough countries. It's just, I don't know, man.
So what do you honestly think, though? Like, what does Sean Ras think? Do you think that video, it's obviously a real video, but do you think that those kids were actually gassed, or do you think it was staged? What do you really think?
I think they were actually gassed. I believe the gassing would have been, in my personal opinion, it's going to be somebody on the anti-Assad, anti-regime side. Who it is, I don't want to try to tell you I know what's going on over there because I don't have a very good clue. But I do know that Russia has warned multiple times that they've got Assad under control. Keep this in mind. 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, Trump had come out and said that he wanted to withdraw U.S. forces out of the region. He wanted U.S. forces. You Google this. It says right there.
Yeah.
Just put in Trump wants U.S. forces out of Syria.
Yeah.
And you'll get the article where he just came out 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, saying, I want them out of there. We don't belong there. It's stupid. Why are we there? And what happens? Oh, well, now we have a chemical weapons attack, and now we're going to go and, bombing is imminent. And we got imminent. I don't think imminent's the word I meant, but you know what I mean. Imminent.
It's intimate.
And we got fucking Putin standing up. He pulled his dick out. Trump standing up. He's got his dick out. They're waving him in the air, going, "No, can you come closer? I'm going to slap you in the face with this." And they just, we're just going to keep falling for the same thing, and they're going to jerk off real heavy. And the American people, the Russian people, the people of the world are going to have cum all over their face.
Yeah, I bet you're right, man. I know that the people in Russia reportedly love Putin. They just love the guy. And, there's a huge silent majority in our country that I would assume loves Trump. You know what I mean? And the same with Obama, the same with Clinton, the same with, pretty much everybody. So you're right. It's like, do you really believe these clowns out there? You have no idea what's really going on, man. And it's funny that that you said that earlier because I actually have a little montage I'm going to play later. I got like 3 sound bites I'm going to play of like the stupidest things politicians in America have said. It's just unreal, dude. But all right, let me ask you.
What's that, like a 4-day long clip? Is my question. Jesus.
I know, dude. I had so much I could have just played the whole show like that. I picked a couple here and there. I mean, a couple of my favorites, and then there's like a 4-minute long montage. That's where I'll go take a leak. Anyway, I've got a couple other things, and this one is huge to me, and I also want your opinion on this one. And actually, I wrote down like 5 things that I wanted to pick your brain about because to me, like, I don't know, I don't want to call you like an expert. I'm not here to S your D, you know what I mean? But I value your opinion. I think it's cool, I like the way you look at things like this. And I want to go on to Trump's lawyer and the whole, seizing the the whole seizure, if you will, of the documents. And I guess they hit 3 offices in a hotel room and just took everything. You're talking about attorney-client privilege. What are your views on that?
Well, this goes, I kind of touched on this briefly running through my ranting earlier. The U.S. government has intervened in elections since the 20s and 30s. Is there collusion between Trump himself and the Russian government? I doubt it. He was a businessman. I'm sure he's had connections over his 30, 40 years of business with people who would make it look shady. It's what does it matter at this point in time?
Well,
the American people.
I'm sorry. What are they really looking for? You know what I mean? And are they?
I don't know what
to?
they're looking for. I don't know what they're looking for. If this has anything to do with the Russian collusion, then maybe there's some kind of thing that they could be looking for that would, I don't know, make a difference at all. But, some people claim it has to do with the Stormy thing or sexual harassment complaints from the past. Well, what the guy did 2 years ago really doesn't matter at this point in time. It's what he's done since he got into that position. And again, I'm not a Trump fan. I think I said if he was real, he would be assassinated within the first year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't real, he was going to start World War III. Well, I think we almost see World War III starting. I'm confused on his election. I really didn't think he was going to get it. And I think that, Hillary's still flapping her gums out there that she should have won. I really think that the intention was for her to win. Yeah. And the overwhelming amount of people that went for Trump, no matter what the reasoning be, made it so they just couldn't manipulate it to where anybody won but him. It would have been too obvious.
Yeah, I told my whole family, I'm like, Hillary's going to win. It's a shoo-in. It's a fix. Your vote's not going to count. That's what I told all my friends and family. I'm like, it doesn't even matter. I'm going to go vote, but I'm only voting against Hillary. And I couldn't believe it when he won. I was like, oh my God, I thought for sure that she was going to win, whether it was fixed or not. But
right now, has he got the basement tour? I don't know. Has he seen the actual footage of JFK's assassination with the with the edit not in there and he's switched gears? Is he a Manchurian candidate? Has he been drugged and brainwashed after the election? Because think about it. His speech, he's always been kind of a blunt Neanderthal type of guy, but it just kind of sounds like he's gotten dumber since he became the president.
It's funny,
it's almost like he speaks in Twitter language, even when he's speaking in front of cameras.
Yeah.
So, what's going on there? Is there?
He wasn't always like that. If you look at old videos from the 80s and 90s, he was very intelligent and just well spoken and calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, absolutely. I always refer, and this. You've heard me with Burke and other places before, my own show even. I have always referenced to movies and the whole rise of Trump, the whole atmosphere right now in our world. I want you to think of
Idiocracy.
Civil War, Avengers. No, well, yeah, we're almost at that point. But the Avengers, the Avengers Civil War.
Okay.
And think about Hydra taking over, and how is it Civil War where they have the is it Civil War? No, the one with the three ships. Civil War, yeah, maybe so.
I don't know, man. I don't really watch. I don't think I've watched the Avengers, any of them, all the way through.
Chat while we're chatting here, and maybe they'll say I thought it was Civil War, but it's the one where the three ships they got these three ships and Hydra's taking over, and they're ready to do it. But Hydra came from World War II. They were part of the Nazi regime. And they came as part of that of the Operation Paperclip, which is something that happened where we brought scientists here. So the point I'm saying is I see movies and I see things happening in movies, and then you look at the situation in our actual world right now, and it so feels like that's what's going on. Like it's an inside coup, and I just... It's a messed up situation, my friend.
Well, Sean, you've got kids like I do, right? And you ever watch...
I got grandkids.
Oh, no, wow, yeah. Well, you're not that much older than I am. God forbid I have a grandkid. My oldest is 13, so I'm not looking forward to that anytime soon. But you ever sit down and watch Netflix and watch the movie The Giver with your kid?
The Giver. I don't believe I have.
I would say check it out, man. If you're into this, these different movies and how they relate to nowadays, that movie's pretty cool. I mean, my kid suggested it, and I was like, okay, whatever, and I turned it on, and I was like glued to the TV. I watched the whole thing without missing a beat. It's basically like a future society where almost like they live in a bubble neighborhood, like not like a bubble city or whatever you want to call it. And every kid gets like assigned a job. Instead of going to school, they just assign them jobs, and then they learn and get trained, and that's what they do. And you're not allowed to use words like love. It's the weirdest thing. But the kid that's assigned the job as the giver, he goes to this like remote home out, on the edge of the bubble, if you will, and he gets to learn all the history before the bubble happened. It's just the most amazing story, dude, and he wants to change it. It just reminds me of like, I don't know what it would be like if, somebody like Hillary Clinton continued, if that's where the world continued down that path, you know what I mean? It's
Jeff Bridges in it, isn't it?
Yes. He's the guy that gives the kid the knowledge. It's an amazing movie, dude. You should check it out. I bet you'd like it. But anyway, moving on. Sean Raz, everybody. I have another question. Now, this is, I don't want you to think I'm being a dick or anything. I'm totally not. I have a huge amount of respect for you. I want to go back to the first conversation I ever had with you when we talked about chemtrails. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I value your opinion on this. And a lot of people, as soon as you bring up the word chemtrails, they're like, people say that, it's just the exhaust and water vapor, and that's just a product of these, these planes. But my question is, if that's the truth, and that's all it is, why are they flying them in patterns? You know what I mean? And making like it seems to me like it's weather engineering, like climate engineering, dude,
Well, it's geoengineering, and here's the thing. Chemtrails is the original thing that people kind of tagged into because there were chemicals being sprayed out of these planes. Other people tried to turn it into persistent contrails because that didn't sound so conspiracy sounding when you talk about it. The main thing to think about with this right now, Kevin, is if you look at, and you follow me, you go through my timeline. Mm-hmm. Over the past 6-8 months, you will see article after article after article after article after article about, is it time for geoengineering? Do we need to, climate engineer? Is this a safe thing? What will happen if just article after article talking about geoengineering, injecting nanoparticles into the atmosphere in order to reflect back the sun rays to cool the planet, to prevent, global warming. This is what they're talking about in major news articles. Mm-hmm. They've been mentioning it for years. I know everybody thinks it's my religion. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy because I talk about this thing. But they're talking about it. If they are talking about it, they've already experimented. They're already doing it. They're trying to work us into it very slowly. One day they're going to go, we're geoengineering now, and this is what it looks like. And everybody's going to go, wow, that's amazing. And everybody like me is going to go, motherfucker, that's what we've been showing you. I'll show you pictures from 20 years ago.
Meanwhile, we're breathing in those nanoparticles and don't even know it. And you know what I mean? It's like risking your life eating at McDonald's.
Maybe it's safer now. Maybe they've been testing for so long secretively. They've developed the method, and they've gotten rid of the other things, and they got it to where they can promote it and make it feel safe. And, they don't think the U.S. government hasn't tested on the U.S. citizens before. Yeah. St. Louis, Missouri in the 60s, I want to say, they sprayed some kind of chemical all over the people, telling them it was a way to prevent from bombings during the Cold War, but it was actually a chemical test. They spray shit in the subways of New York City all the time to see what would happen if somebody did a chemical weapons. Well, what the fuck are you spraying there? You're telling us it's benign, but how are we supposed to believe it's benign?
Yeah.
So you think we're going to believe the government, especially the New York City government, of anything you tell us?
Yeah, I'm not going to trust that. No. Yeah. Think about it, dude. And you, like you said, they're trying to test these things, right? Don't underestimate the government. They're going to test these theories on their people. Look at it in Los Angeles. Okay, this came out yesterday. It's related to climate change. They're painting the city streets white in a bid to combat climate, change or global warming. They're literally like street crews that are painting these roads white so that it's like,
Do you remember? Do you remember during the drought? Sorry,
no, go ahead.
A little the birdseed there. But if you remember during the drought, they were taking big black balls and throwing them in the water reservoirs. These BPA laden balls and throwing them in the water reservoirs of California to prevent the evaporation. Now, no bullshit. You can Google this. Wow. They put hundreds of millions of balls in all the reservoirs in California to try to prevent evaporation of the water during the drought, like 3 years ago. I don't remember. I just remember these big dumps, these big dump truck size trucks with balls, big black balls that they dumped in the water reservoir all through California. Big black balls.
Say it again. Big black balls.
Big black balls all in the water.
Anyway,
I know it's a comedy show. I'm trying to make it, we can talk serious stuff and still have fun and be stupid. That's the way I try to even run my show. I try to, we get serious. Sometimes it gets really serious and really heated, and I get pissed off. Mm-hmm. And then other times we can talk about this shit and we can have fun while we do it. And it makes it entertaining. It makes people go, you know what? Maybe there's something here. Maybe they're not that crazy. It's at least fun and it makes you think.
Bro, I agree with you 110%. And I wish that you were here right now, not just on the phone. We'd have a blast. I'd take you up on the roof of the dump tower. We could look at US 19. It'd be fun.
You know me, I travel all the time, but Tampa's
it's a drive.
Tampa there.
Yeah, I'm in downtown Newport Richey. So yeah, I'm like 2 hours from you, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, so all right, I've got one more topic for discussion with you before we go into this first break.
Hold on. There's more to the chemtrail thing. Yeah. There's more to the chemtrail. I'll probably jump at your break at 9 there if you're taking one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things going on with this on top of just the chemtrails. There's a lot of discussion now about, and I hate to say it this way, but the easiest way to explain it is boat trails. Using ships also in the same way. You're able to deliver it further out, which would allow it to collect more seawater or whatever it's trying to do. So that's another method they've discussed. You can go to YouTube and put in, I believe it's either in Canada or Britain. I know the guy speaks with a British accent. But just put in creating clouds. And there's a video. It's a guy on the ground, and he's standing outside this machine that is specifically made to create clouds. And it's just bellowing out this cloud out of its mouth. And it's incredible to watch. But that's geoengineering. So when we talk about chemtrails, when we talk about that type of situation, we're talking about geoengineering, something that it's emitted. We geoengineered in the Vietnam War. We controlled the weather in the Vietnam War to flood the Ho Chi Minh Trail to try to slow the movement of weapons. We used cloud seeding. Yes, we had that technology in the 60s. So you're going to try to, and this is my biggest argument with my buddy, Forto. He hates this conversation. But think of this. If in 1963 we were able to seed the clouds enough to flood the Ho Chi Minh Trail to slow the movement of weapons, do you really think the U.S. government stopped there and went, all right, we're good. We don't need to advance any more than where we're at. That's a perfect weapon. We don't need to do anything else with it. I mean, do you really think that's what the U.S. government did?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You put a different perspective on things sometimes, man. And that's why I enjoy you and your show, dude. It's pretty cool. Also, welcome Nitwit.tv to the chat room. He's asking, who is this guy? That's Sean Raspatello. Sean Ras, man. Friend of the show, conspiracy guy. I know you don't like to be called a conspiracy theorist, Sean, but when you have such an open mind about whether it's police shootings or, chemtrails or, climate change, the political climate, whatever it might be, I always appreciate the intuition that you have and the way that you just kind of put your nose in the books for a few minutes. A lot of people don't do that, and you find facts and links and things like that, and it's a lot more fun to watch people with an educated point of view than it is to just look at people's opinions all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know. That to me is really cool, but I want to go on to this next subject. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I appreciate that, and it's. I wasn't always like this. I told you this before, Kevin. Yeah. Last time I was on with you, I was, I loved Bush. I would have, gave him a fucking Hummer if he asked me to, just because I thought he was right. And then when I learned he wasn't right, it caused me into spinning into so many different things. And I mean, you see the stuff, man. You see the videos posted of 45 different news organizations throughout the United States playing the exact same or saying the exact same things. Operation Mockingbird, scripted. It's made to control you. It's there. It's called TV programming for a certain reason. It's programming you to do exactly and think exactly the way they want you to think.
Sean, how many times have you seen me argue with your friends on social media and say at the end of my rant, kill your TV. Just kill your TV, kill it. Stop watching TV. Oh, man. But dude,
it's amazing. And there's a lot of smart people out there. There's a lot of opinionated people out there. I'm not always right. Nobody's ever right 100% of the time. It's an environment where we need to, as I said earlier, I post stuff, and then I learn sometimes from what's being shared in that post that I put up. And I'll never delete something. That's another thing about me. And you can go through, I've made comments about this with other people. I will never, I don't care if you prove me 100% wrong where I'm a fucking idiot and I've got egg all over my face, that post will remain. I will not delete it.
That's who you are. You know what I mean? I agree with that. The only time I delete people's posts in debates like that online, in social media, is if they go on and write a book. If you're writing a book in the comment section and continue to do it, I'm not going to block you. I might unfollow you, not you particularly, but one that does that. But if there's like a long ass book, I'm just going to delete it and move on from it. Sometimes I'll delete the whole post. Like, okay, this went.
But see, you don't want to do that. No, see, that's what I'm trying to say here. Listen, when you put that stuff, whether it be you or somebody else, you should never delete somebody else's stuff ever, because it even if it's the stupidest thing in the world, it gives everybody else a warning on what this guy is, right?
Well, I'm thinking of one thing in particular, and it was a guy that was in the Marines, and I thought it was like too much information. You know what I mean? He wrote a book, and I'm like, dude, save, so I deleted a whole entire post because of it. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I never delete anything. And even then, even if it's like threatening or violent, the only time it would get deleted is if I actually block you, which is a very short list of people I have blocked.
Me too.
I don't block very easily. You have to personally threaten me or my family, or just be just way crazy. And I've only got one or two that are way crazy. And you got to be an ex-girlfriend.
Well, what about national secrets and things like that? That's where I was kind of going with that. You know what I mean? I think it's okay to delete, maybe not block or unfriend, but delete, maybe unfollow. If somebody is just talking too much, writing a freaking book. I mean, I know what you're saying, dude, and I completely agree with you. You never delete somebody's comments unless it's absolutely nuts. If somebody's dropping constant F-bombs or N-bombs, then they're out, dude. You know what I mean? That's just how it's going to be.
You can get rid of them, absolutely, but I don't delete their stuff.
Yeah.
Get rid of them, unfriend them, block them. Once you block them, though, it kind of deletes it.
Yeah. But sometimes you have no choice but to block them, or else it just keeps popping up, and it's I don't want my name tagged on on stuff. That's why I don't ever post anything on my personal page like you do. But I don't know. I think people respect you more than they respect me. But I don't. I
don't even consider it my personal page anymore. Honestly, I mean,
no?
I know I've got my family on there. My family knows I'm crazy. I don't mind them following along with the hijinks I do. My father, he listens, or he actually watches it now. He watches my show every week, not live, but he'll go back to the YouTube and watch it. And because I do video now. I do the Twitch TV, which I throw out to all my other outlets, which is nice. You get to watch the videos, you see our expressions, you get to watch us when we get really, really drunk. And it's fun. It's a really good time.
Yeah, no, that is really cool. I bought a 3D camera. I bought a 360-degree camera, and for some reason it's not compatible with my devices. None of them. I can record on it, but I can't go live. And I really wanted it to go Facebook Live, and then people could just move their finger around and look at everybody at the table and stuff like that. I thought that would be really cool, but it's not happening. But yeah, I noticed that you went live with the video. That's the way to go nowadays. Everybody's doing it. All the good shows are doing that. I'm one of the last ones to join that, to jump on that boat, But real quick, Sean, I want your, this is kind of in honor of my friend Nitwit's wife, actually. Flat Earthers. Do you have any experience with these flat earther people?
I have friends. I have people that I respect that have gone down that course, and you can't you I don't want to say you can't argue them. You can argue them, but you can't deny people who want to question and reach out and explore different things. I don't know where this. Well, I guess there's a whole documentary from, I want to say, the 50s or 60s of some general who went out exploring. I don't know much about it because I try to avoid it all the time, just because I really honestly believe it is a controlled opposition. It is just like with 9/11, you have the no planers or the space weapon people. Something went wrong on 9/11. Something is not right there. What we've been told is not the truth.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not going to say there were no airplanes. I know there's a lot of good evidence. There really is good evidence pointing to the fact that there could have not been airplanes.
There's the whole Building 7 and the lack of video at the Pentagon, the lack of debris at the airfield in Pennsylvania. I have a lot of red flags that pop up for me personally,
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? We never get video. And then when we get video, it's so highly edited, or it's so highly limited to what we get to see. It's just the fun of the game that we play here. But what was your question again? Because I kind of spun myself out on that one.
It was about flat earthers, and actually Nitwit's in the chat room. Heather's laughing right now. Well, I want to ask you, how do you debunk it? Do you have a set of a protocol of topics to debunk it? Like, I don't know, for example, how come nobody ever falls off the edge? If it's flat. I mean, how do you explain that?
We're the bottom of the universe. We're the bottom of the universe, allegedly, as I understand the flat Earth theory. You can't. And then people would say, "Hey, Sean, it's like arguing with you with chemtrails. You can't debunk it ever in your mind because you're so sold on the situation." Okay, I can't argue that. That's a great fact. You can't change my thoughts on geoengineering, chemtrailing, the attempt to modify the weather. That opinion's not going to change because it's something we've done. I get that we don't want to believe government agencies or agencies connected to government organizations like NASA, the CIA, the FBI, any one of these alphabet agencies that you could throw out there. Nobody wants to believe them. They can't fucking handle a 19-year-old kid that wants to go shoot up a high school. If you look at, and look, I'm going to spin this around real fast. I know you want to take a break. I got to get out of here. My wife's probably hanging on the wall, but I'm going to spin this back around. How many times do we have to be right before you guys are going to start listening to us at the front end of the situations instead of the back end of the situation?
Nicely said, Sean.
Every single one of these shootings for the past 10 years, minimal, has some kind of connection to the FBI. Go to the Pulse shooting in Orlando. The guy's father, it turns out, just came out recently, the guy's father was an FBI informant. The FBI had a serious ability to prevent him from being able to have purchased the weapons that he used at the Pulse shooting.
Same in Parkland. The FBI was notified.
Yes. But they had they could have federally indicted him, and the father's connection prevented that from happening. Every single one of these situations, when are we going to hold the people accountable who are dropping the ball instead of trying to hold something accountable that had nothing to do with it, didn't walk out and do it itself? So, listen, I appreciate, Kevin, what you guys do, as with anything that any of us do. We want to help each other. We want to have a good time. We want to promote each other. RazRadioLive.com. Twitch.tv/SeanRaz1 if you want to watch the video format. Many affiliates. Kevin, I appreciate your time, brother. We'll have to have you swing by soon.
Sean, I'm supposed to be the one telling you, where do we go to find you online? Blah, 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 blah. And you just went in straight radio host mode, and I always appreciate that, man. Thank you for calling into the show tonight, dude. And check out, we replay our show on your friend's network on radiochaos.net every Thursday night at about 11 o'clock. So, dude.
Excellent. Don's network, yep.
Yep. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening.
You too. All right. Sean Raz, everybody. Woohoo.
Peace out, my friend.
Peace out. I hung up on him. Sorry. What a cool guy. I absolutely love Sean Raspatello. That was really, really cool. Nitwit says, great call. Thanks, Nitwit. I appreciate that, man. It is really cool to interact with people that have such an open mind like Sean does. Like, people are like, oh, you're a conspiracy guy. Oh, you're drinking Kool-Aid, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, we actually talked to the guy. He actually listened to the guy. He's just got a lot of great points of view on things. He questions things and he leaves things open. Like we were talking about in the beginning of the interview. Like, he just throws stuff out there. He'll retweet stuff and just let people discuss it. And you may have heard Sean Raz on the Shannon Burke show a while back as a regular, like a Conspiracy Corner or something like that. If you look at Shannon Burke's Wikipedia, I want to say, I'm going to pull it up right now. We're going to take a break here really quick, but I think this would be kind of funny. I was actually listening to the Shannon Burke show this morning, and my fiance left work early. And I was in between jobs this morning, and I was at home with the Chihuahuas, one of which is pregnant, by the way. And so I'm laying in the bed, like, I think I still have my shoes on. And I was just, like, waiting for my phone to go off again. And I grabbed my tablet, and I tuned into 106.7 in Atlanta, Real Talk, something like that. And I just caught, like, the first hour of the Shannon Burke show, which is one of my favorites. That's where I found Sean Raz. That's how I learned. It was from the Shannon Burke show's podcast, actually, when I was riding my bicycle up and down the Starkey bike trail and going to the gym, a few years ago. And I was like, this guy's hilarious, man, talking about chemtrails and stuff. I ought to get him on my show, And he turned out to be a really cool dude. I wouldn't have met Radio Chaos and Don Pontius and all these other really cool people if it wasn't for Raz. But let's look up, let's do a little Wikipedia search here for Shannon Burke. If Raz is listening, he's probably going to be like, oh, really? Because I don't know. I don't know Shannon personally. You know what I mean? I'm friends with him on Facebook, and every once in a while he'll like one of my things or something like that. Which is like really, that's really like a humbling, heartwarming kind of thing when a celebrity like Sean Raz calls my show or Shannon Burke likes my shit. All right, let's see here. I got it loaded up here. Segments. Pre-2011, the radio show was a mix of current events, comedy, and politics. Discussions involve the serious to the total bizarre. Guests include comedians visiting the local improv comedy club, local celebrities, and sometimes national celebrities. Segments, we've got Cabin Boys Wench of the Week, The Shot Doctor, Curtis Earth Trivia, stuff like this, blah, 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 blah. If you go on down here, hold on, I know what's on here. Hold on a second. I'm going back. Here it is. The Conspiracy Guy. That's what they called it. With Sean Raz. That was pre-2011. That's badass, man. You know what I mean? How cool is that? I can't say that I am on anybody's IMBD or Wikipedia. So, nor am I verified on Twitter. But you know what's messed up too? Conspiracy theory. All those Parkland kids that were marching, within like a day, they're like teenagers. They're verified on Twitter. Dude, I've been working for like 4 or 5 years trying to get verified on Twitter. What the hell is that? Aaron in the chat room says in between jobs. I've had a lot of jobs. Anyway, speaking of jobs, I gotta go. Take a job right now. I gotta do a number 1 in the bathroom, and we're gonna take our first break here. Thanks again to Sean Raspatello. Check him out. TF52.com, I believe is what it is, the first 52, and everything else that he said a minute ago. Our podcast download will be available immediately after the show. We don't wait. It's immediately available, so you can download and stream anytime you want. We'll be right back with more of The Kevin Holly Show.
You are listening to The Kevin Holly Show. The Kevin Holly Show. The Kevin Holly Show.
U-Haul at the strip club. There's a U-Haul at the strip club. Someone's moving in or out, but first they wanna see some titties. U-Haul at the strip club. There's a U-Haul at the strip club. Someone's moving in or out, but first they wanna see that butthole. Yo, I gotta move my stuff. I gotta choose a moving service, so me seeing some bucks. So for the price of about a hired 2 men in a truck, I got a U-Haul stiff tip $10. U-Haul at the strip club. There's a U-Haul at the strip club. Someone's moving in or out, but first they wanna see some titties.
Hey, what's up? It's Ryan Hoppy from the two-time award-winning Hoppy Hour podcast, and you are listening to The Kevin Holly Show. How's Pops doing?
You can't escape it. Chose this long ago. With you, we're complacent now. You can't stand to think. And it's already started without you. So find your desperation, 'cause it's time to go. 'Cause it's a long, long way from home. There's no reason to belong. How we end up here at all. And I think it's time to go. You have lost control. You've been making fell apart while you were waiting. There's no way that you can save it. There's a way you can't escape. And it's already started without you. So find your devastation, 'cause it's time to go. 'Cause it's a long, long way from home. There's no reason to belong. How we end up here at all. And I think it's time to, Where do we go from here? Will we ever find a reason to escape from all the madness? Where do we go from here? And does it even really matter? Will we even make a difference? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? 'Cause it's a long, long way from home. There's no reason to belong. How we end up here at all. And I think it's time to, think it's time to, think it's time to.
This is Mike.
And this is Stan from Open Mic Live.
You're listening to The Kevin Holly Show, where the breaks are long.
And the stories are longer.
So no matter when you tune in, you haven't missed a thing.
All hail Kevin Holly.
We're born It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. If you think it's hard to listen at home, try sitting at the guest microphone. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. It lasts for 3 hours. Makes you want to cry. He better end the show soon, before Pops dies. Where he worked, jobs he had when he was young, and chipped his nads, who he Ubered. Hold on, it's funny. Now I know why we never make money. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. If you think you had all that you can take, you're wrong. It's time for a break. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. It's a long way to the end of the Kevin Holly Show. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. It's lame. It's lame. It's lame. It's lame.
This song is dedicated to a certain kind of people, which just so happens to be my other favorite kind of people. You know, the ones that like to, hurt themselves, bro. Skateboard ollie, bro. Kick flip, split your lip, bro. Kick me in the nuts, bro. You get what I'm saying, right? White people, I get bullied in school. I can't wait till I'm a cop so I can bully you. White people. Hey. White people, no, we can't dance. And I don't whoop my kids or spank their hands. White people. Bad Michael, bad. Who's a bad Michael? Go to your room, Michael. If you poke me on my arm, I bruise easily. So I only quarterback in the football league. I like to watch porn, I can fap for days. And my favorite potato chips are Lay's, because you're white. I take weird drugs like ecstasy, mushrooms, crystal meth, and LSD. We put it in a pipe for a homemade bong. And watch out for the priest, he will rape your son. And most of us would die trying out for fear factor. I guess that's why they say I'm just a country loving, deer hunting, rabbit eating, redneck, inbreeding, beer drinking, small penis. Did I mention we drive a tractor? We're red when we're mad, when we're sick we're green. Only race in the world that eats sardines. White girls, flat butts, and I know that's mean, but if you try to eat the booty, tastes like saltines. Back far away from that anus. A white woman came to me to bash my song until she realized I was black, and then she zipped her purse. White people, I get bullied in school. I can't wait till I'm a cop so I can bully you. White people. Hey. White people, no, we can't dance, and I don't whoop my kids or spank their hands. White people. See, this is probably why white kids end up shooting up schools. Hey. Hold up a second. We can't have a white song without the country music in it. Yeehaw! Yeah, we all like country music. No. Never understand what we're saying. No. But if you ever come down to Texas, come chill with me on my porch. Cause we all got shotguns and we all commute by horse. I said we have farms, we like to mosh, we like Family Guy, we like Tosh. I guess my point here is, if you're white, we automatically like you. White people, I get bullied in school. I can't wait till I'm a cop so I can bully you. White people. Hey. White people can't jump that high, so if you're trying to lose the cops, find a fence nearby. White people. Unless the cop is like, Larry Bird or something, then don't try it. White people, since 76, being jerks making other races look like shit. White people.
Seriously, like all of us are racist.
White people, I know you can't stand me, but we all still evolved from a chimpanzee. White people. Hey. Alright, so this is probably also the most racist song I've written. But if you laugh, you're racist too. So I don't feel bad. Besides, it's not racist if I'm human. You get it? The human race? Ha, that's how white people laugh.
Hi, this is Sharon Buckles. I am the dominatrix Selena Krause from the upcoming Scorpion Girls, and I am happy to be on the Kevin Hawley Show.
American by birth and Southern by the grace of God means that everything I do it right. New York and California, you can go and have your fun, but down here I got a list of what I like. Eating tater tots and pussy, sucking Mountain Dew and tip. Kick like grandma in his nutsack, then I suck my boss's dick. Fuck my cousin in her asshole before I finish on her tits. Then I shoot my neighbor's cat, I love that redneck shit. You can make your jokes at us and giggle all you want, but my friends and me, man, we don't give a lick. You can read this, then the bitch fell off. That's a sticker on a bike, sure, but it's also a tattoo inked on my dick. Taking pictures of my mama while she's trying to take a shit. Then I'm throwing rocks at cripples and I laugh when they get hit. Pull my pecker out in Walmart, then I pop my sister's zip. Checking off my neighbor's dog, I love that redneck shit. People think we're crazy, man, they think we're all insane. Take a visit and I swear you'll never leave. You can stay at Grandma's house, she'll cook you up some country ham, and after dinner you can nibble on her beef. Me a pity at the swap meet, then I fucked her for a bit. Shove a dildo up my asshole just to see if it can fit. Buy a bunch of nudie magazines, the ones that show the clit. And I told my brothers, but I love that redneck shit. Redneck shit.
Radio person is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial?
I've got a pirate radio station. Nobody knows who he is.
You out there? You listening?
Well, welcome back, everybody. Hold on. Turn off that air conditioning. Oh, yeah. I'm over here listening to Wheeler Walker Jr. laughing my ass off at that redneck shit song. And I posed the question in the chat room, how does he not laugh while he's singing it? And Kirk comes back with, because he lived it all, sadly. Probably. I think that's super funny, man. He's got so many funny songs. I hear he's, I don't know if he's coming to town, but he promoted, like, the Kid Rock concert that's coming to, like, I don't know, the Fairgrounds or the Amalie or whatever it is. I don't know, man. I went to the Amalie and I saw the Foo Fighters. You know, the Amalie Arena in downtown Tampa right there, Channelside District, where the Tampa Bay Lightning are playing in the playoffs. And I saw the Foo Fighters play there with Weezer, and I was, like, disappointed. Like, I love both bands. I've seen Weezer 3 times. I'm a dork. I'm a nerd. But that particular venue, if you're not, like, downstairs in front of the stage, you just can't hear it. It sounds like this. Like, it kind of sounds like my co-host Filbert's first date back in high school in the locker room. Anyway, welcome back to the second hour of the Kevin Holly Show, everybody. Oh, yeah. Special thanks to our guest phone-in caller, Sean Raspatello, tonight. The first 52. I believe that's the first 52 words of the Constitution. Yeah. Anyway, alleged conspiracy theorist / radio host, Raz Radio. Check it out. Google it. Just Google it. Click it. Oh, I wish everybody just lighten up right now, you know? Man, I feel like I would be like a really good reggae band member. You know, like if I played the bass in a reggae band, or the bongos or something, shake a tambourine, I think I'd be really good at it. So, here we are. Yeah, welcome back. It is the second hour of the Kevin Holly Show. Now, we are running a little long, so it's almost 9:30. Nitwit says the reverb is back. You might like it, but it sounds great without it. I beg to differ, because I'm looking at it, and the levels are perfect. I think it was just me making noise, maybe? I hope so. Anyway, I don't know, man. It's this crappy dump tower. It is what it is. I sound better with reverb. So, wow. A lot of things, like, just seem to keep happening, you know? The same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me, you know? On the call, it was clean, says Nitwit. I don't know, man. It's like, oh, it's not bad. There's nothing different, man. I mean, everything's low, man. Low. So many things keep happening. And it's like a repeat, like over and over again. And it reminds me of my attempt at content for my show. Like, is it uncouth for me to, steal bits from other shows? Probably. Like I was telling Hobby last night, like I really enjoy Read My Lips on a certain morning show here in the Tampa Bay area. It's like, you put some noise-canceling headphones on, somebody in the room, and you just say things into the microphone so everybody else can hear it, and you ask that person with the noise-canceling headphones to interpret and read your lips. I think it's hysterical, So, all that being said, I'm going to do a top 10 right now. Oh, whoa. Why is my party guy never works? There it is. Top 10 time. That's how we do it. Top 10s are fun on the Kevin Holly Show. How about the top 10 shortest books? Number 10, Detroit, a travel guide. I grew up outside of Chicago. Detroit, not so much, man. Not so much. Number 9 in the top 10 shortest books, Dr. Kevorkian's collection of motivational speeches. Speaking of books, this one's a little off the wall. You heard it fall. Well, I'll pick up what I dropped. It's this, so hit the button.
You asshole. Fucking jerk. Eat shit. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Awesome. That's my American song box right there, sound box. I have a book here called Victim of the Swamp by one Patrick Bergay. How the Deep State Destroyed the 40-Year-Old Private. And if you look at the front page, it's autographed by one Patrick Bergay. And the dedication, I want to read this. I think it's really cool. Pat says, I've spent nearly the last 8 years overseas in Iraq, Afghanistan, and South Korea. I have 2 daughters, as well as 10-year-old twin sons. They have all been without their birth father's physical presence for most of their childhood lives. Words cannot fully express the pain this has caused me personally by not being there for them. I set out to make their lives better, and hopefully the lives of other Americans and their children safer. In the end, I clearly fell far short of such a lofty patriotic goal. Hopefully, when my children are older, they will be able to understand from this book why I made the decisions I did. We never could have imagined in a million years this would have or could have resulted in such a devastating impact to our family. Their sacrifices, along with all children and family of service members, are the heroes in my story. I am just a fallible father that always tries to do the right thing, and whom loves his children and his country with all his heart. God bless the United States of America. That's the dedication, which I think is fantastic. I mean, it'll put a tear in your eyes. We go back to the last page of the book, Acknowledgements. And he says, I wanted to end my story with acknowledging a few very special people that have helped me get through some very difficult times. Others mentioned here are just those who have been very positive influences. I can't name them all, but a few deserve special mention. To my children, what can I say? But I am so very sorry for not being there for you as a father, should outside of anything financial. I spent 2 years writing this stupid book largely for you, so you must know how much I love you. My sister, what a pain I was to you as a brother growing up. Still, when I needed someone, you were there for me. His other sister, I miss you and think of you often. Heaven is for sure much more organized now. My friends, Todd Johnston, Javier Benavente. My craziness has never deterred our friendship, and I am deeply grateful. My friend, Kevin Holly. When nobody would help get my message to the world, you stepped up and put me on your show. That was important, and you should know it. To Homeless Chuck, you've been a jerk. Let's see if you were right. And lastly, Fred Taylor, a true patriot and war hero. And Larry Roach, retired Navy sheriff and former father-in-law. You guys were both a great inspiration for me. My words cannot do justice to how much I mean that. And then he's got a list as appendix, notes, and sources and things like that. I highly recommend the book Victim of the Swamp by one Patrick Bergay. A friend of the show, a good friend of mine, started a new company. The name of that company, I have it right here. It's pretty cool. Tactical C3S Incorporated. It's one of those companies that it's a compliance company for internet security and safety and things like that. If you have a big company with a bunch of people, a bunch of customers, and highly classified information, personal information, financial information, his company will test your systems to make sure that you are code compliant with the security and protocols that are current right now. And if you pass, you get a certificate of compliance. If you don't pass, it'll help you figure out how to pass to make your company more secure, which I think is really, really cool. So that being said, I just want to give a little shout out to my friend Pat Burgay. Going back to the top 10 shortest books. Number 8, Everything Men Know About Women. Number 7, Everything Women Know About Men. Top 10 shortest books. Number 6, All the Men I've Loved Before by Ellen DeGeneres. Number 5, Mike Tyson's Guide to Dating Etiquette. I learned everything I know about dating from Mike Tyson. I don't know. He probably shouldn't date me. Good thing I'm engaged. Number 4, Spotted Owl Recipes by the Sierra Club. Really? There it is. Number 3, top 10 shortest books. The Amish Phone Directory. Come on. Boo! Number 2, My Plan to Find the Real Killers by O.J. Simpson. Boo! And number 1 of the top 10 shortest books of all time, My Book of Morals by Bill Clinton. I don't know where I'm going with all this crap. I will take a sip. Shots for Bots, Slingshot Robot. Featured maybe in the second break? I don't even know. I don't care. I don't know. I mean, I do care. I just don't know. Anyway, I think maybe we should just jump right into my favorite segment of the Kevin Holly Show. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Strange News on the Kevin Holly Show. Just throwing this out there, if you watch your wife get railed on Facebook Live by a billionaire, is that zuckelding? Thank you. All right. Hold on. I'm getting messages. People are... Oh, God. Okay. All right. So, here we go. First news segment on the docket. I think it's going to be great. I think it's weird, but I'll take it. Workers discover a mummified monkey in an old department store. In Minneapolis, workers renovating the old Dayton's department store in downtown Minneapolis have discovered a mystery. A mystery. It's the mummified remains of a monkey. Crews found the carcass last week in an air duct on the 7th floor of the century-old building. I'm wondering if there's any mummified anything in the dump tower. Like, should I inspect the building and look for mummified, I don't know, like crackheads, maybe? Mummified crackheads in the dump tower. So, Caitlin Rogers is a spokeswoman for the Dayton's Project, an office, retail, and restaurant complex going into the building. She says developers don't know where the monkey came from or how it ended up in the air duct. Does anybody really know where monkeys came from? Is it evolution? I don't know. Is there a higher power? A historic site called shouldn't it be an historical site? Called Old Minneapolis posted a photo of the monkey. That's coming from a guy who can barely read. Posted a photo of the monkey on its Facebook page and solicited answers. And I'm wondering what's up with my chat room here. I can't really get into it. I'm just going to type hi. If you're listening on Spreaker.com or the KevinHollyShow.com, join us in the chat room. Also call the show, 727-237-6010. Alan Freed is one of the site's co-administrators. He says one likely answer came from someone who posted on the page saying a longtime Dayton's employee told him a monkey escaped from an 8th floor pet store into the air conditioning ductwork in the 1960s. Like, this monkey's like, wee, wah, woo, woo, wah. You know, he just takes off into the ductwork, and you don't find out for 50 years. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. So, all right. Well, during the next break, I'm going to go out and look. I'm going to crawl through the ductwork to the dump tower and see if I can find anything mummified here. I think that's a great idea. What else do we have here? What else do we have on the strange news docket tonight? It's kind of tough for me to really grasp how many things are there. But I'm going to stick with the same narrative, I guess, is what I'll do. And we'll go to Put Your Paws Up. Detroit Area Police Department adds a cat. Put your paws up! I mean, did they shoot first and then ask for your paws up in Detroit? I don't even know. In Troy, Michigan, the Troy Police Department in suburban Detroit added a cat to the ranks Friday after auditioning 5 felines from the Michigan Humane Society. So they were like, it was like a casting couch for all this pussy. Thank you. The cat will be used for therapeutic purposes and to make public appearances. Oh, I mean, pussy is pretty good for therapeutic purposes. A Troy officer who has 2 cats at home is getting a new 4-legged partner. Well, I prefer 2-legged partners, but to each his own. Sergeant Megan Lehman says the department also wants to promote pet adoptions from area shelters. She says Troy students will be asked to come up with possible names for the kitten. A name will be selected through a vote on Twitter. Troy police pledged to add a cat if it could reach 10,000 Twitter followers by April. It took just 8 days to go from 4,000 to 10,000. What is the point of this cat? Twitter followers? Is that it? Therapeutic purposes? And public appearances? What is it? Is it the freaking, is it the groundhog? You know what? Why? I guess Detroit needs more pussy. I guess you could say the Detroit Police Department's got a lot of pussies. I don't know, man. I don't get this story at all. Therapeutic purposes? Like what? Like you got somebody on bath salts, you arrest them, they poop in the back of the squad car, you got to clean it all out and put them in the holding cell, they're going crazy, getting naked, they're overheating, and here, have this little cat. I mean, the guy would eat the cat, man. I don't know. Therapeutic purposes. What about therapeutic porpoises? What if they had a dolphin instead? You know, what about a dolphin instead? I mean, I'm just saying, like, if they had a dolphin instead, it would be therapeutic porpoises, and you could swim with the dolphin. Cool down if you're on bath salts, because people on bath salts, they get hot. Just jump in the water and swim with the dolphin. It's therapeutic porpoises. That's what I'm saying, man. Anyway, that's ridiculous. Did they have a donkey? Did they have a therapeutic donkey? Could you have a therapeutic anything? I mean, could anything be therapeutic? You know, like, okay, I'm a, third in charge, police department. I think we need more therapeutic pussy up in here. You know, oh, pussy's offensive. Okay, well, let's pick something else. How about a porpoise? No, they're aggressive. Okay, well, how about a donkey? No, donkeys are aggressive too. Well, anything could be therapeutic. A cow? You know, here, just suckle on these udders. Get some milk. Oh, get some milk. That's all. I know some of you out there are waiting for it. You're just waiting for it. Yeah, okay, here.
He needs some milk.
Oh.
Somebody. Oh. He needs some milk.
If you're really paying attention, accidentally hit this button first.
Fuck my ass. Fuck my ass. Go fuck my ass. Fuck my ass. Fuck my ass.
Jesus. I mean, that's straight from the Glick show. I don't know how many beers did you have, Glick? My God. That's just crazy, dude. It's just, shut that Glick.
Shut up!
Shut him up! All right. That being said, let's go back a minute, shall we? It's just so stupid. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know. I'm like Dan Maduri. I don't even know what to do. All right. So, a lot of strange news happening around the world, and a lot of it is to do with animals. We had a monkey, we had a cat. What could possibly be next? How about this one? A female lion with a mane has died at an Oklahoma City zoo. Now I'm wondering if they have a smoking area at the Oklahoma Zoo. If they do, is it just like the smoking area where they smoked my boy Harambe at the Cincinnati Zoo? It's pretty weak. I know. The Oklahoma City Zoo says an 18-year-old African lioness that mysteriously sprouted a mane last year has died. wow, wouldn't that suck? You just sprout some balls and then die. You know, you're a female. You're like, I don't assume my gender, and all of a sudden, boom, balls, death. You know? The zoo says the lioness, named Bridget, was euthanized Wednesday. After a veterinary team determined she was likely suffering from heart failure or infection. The zoo says Bridget has been lethargic, not eating, and appeared to be in pain. She also appeared to be in a mane. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's worse than throwing cats in the river.
It's the Kevin Holly Show on the IRN Internet Radio Network. All right. So, last month, the zoo said Bridget appeared to be in good health after lab results explained why she had grown a mane, which is usually only seen on male lions. The testing found that Bridget had an elevated level of androstenedione. Sounds like androstenedione, a hormone that can contribute to developing male features. Well, I think we should get Glick that hormone, because he's developing female features. And he's not here to defend himself. What's up, Glick? The zoo says that suggested a benign tumor in an adrenal gland may have been the cause. I don't know. Whatever. I find that's weird. I find that to be a weird story. That's why it's strange news, everyone. I don't know. It's like all this talk about the gender spectrum, and then here's like a female lion that grows a mane, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I'm dying, and they have to put it down. Well, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. In a flat Earth society, though, I mean, anything goes, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. So what else do we have here on the docket? How about, we'll stay on the animal tip here. Don't get excited, Hoss. How about this in Maine? A Maine petting zoo. I prefer heavy petting zoos. I don't know about you guys listening. A Maine petting zoo is the site of a first reindeer birth in years. A traveling petting zoo in Maine says its reindeer has unexpectedly given birth to the first baby reindeer in the state in more than 20 years. Do we got to give it a name like Prancer? Pony Express co-owner Ed Popsis says the reindeer is a dark brown female calf, and it was born at a farm on Easter Sunday. Aww. Popsis tells the Morning Sentinel that the new reindeer has yet to be named. Hello! Her mother's name is Coco. Coco. She's a surfer, like totally Cocoa Beach, Coco. So there are no wild reindeer left in Maine, and Pony Express has the only domesticated ones in the state. I bet there's some dude in a basement in northern Maine that's got like a whole gaggle of reindeer. What is it, a gaggle? Is it a herd? Yeah, herd. It once had the only reindeer in the state, an 18-year-old female named Freeway, who died in 2016. God, I hope it didn't get hit by a car. It now has one male and 4 females. Attempts to reintroduce reindeer to the wild in Maine in the past have not succeeded. Man. I mean, if they were magical, oh my God, hold the phone. Hold the phone.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
The Glick is in the chat room. You better keep my name out your mouth, you mother bitch ass. I'm not going to say that word. And what the F up is with your dollar store mic. Oh, really? There, is that better? Is that better? Just flick stuff. Glick stuff. I don't know, man. I have no idea, because I didn't do anything. You know what? Is this like every time happy hour the next day I get echo? Is that what's going on? All right, turn that down a little bit, maybe? Is that better? I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. Son of a bitch. Oh, I'll strangle this building. All right, so a heavy petting zoo. Cool. I have so many other things to get to that I'm going to do it in the third hour, because we're going to break on time, and we're going to do this third hour. I hope you assholes in the chat room will stick around for it, because I have some pretty funny stuff. But before we go, I do have another one here in strange news. Okay. If you apply for a job and you want to work as like law enforcement or, I don't know, in the penal system, you know, the penal system, Glick. He says I should mute my mic. Anyway, this guy applies for a job in Manchester, New Hampshire. No, a woman. She applied for a job at a New Hampshire county jail, but she's been arrested because it turns out she was wanted on a charge in Maine. Wow, a lot of Maine stuff going on tonight. Police say Christina Hoofs, keeping it on the animal narrative here, Christina Hoofs of Manchester applied for the job on Friday at the Hillsborough County Department of Corrections, but workers soon realized that she was being sought on a theft-related offense in Maine. Hoofs was taken into custody and taken to police headquarters, Hoofs' quarters. She was scheduled for arraignment on Monday. It's unknown if Hoofs has a lawyer. No phone number for her can be found. You can't even find a phone number. What about on the application? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Glick's bringing the heat, baby. 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 It's like candy. Ow. All right, so this is really happening. We talked about this with Raz in the first hour. California officials are hoping their latest attempt to stem the rising tides of climate change leads to a more socially conscious and cooler summer. Officials in LA have been painting streets white to reduce the effect of urban heat islands and combat the effects of climate change. Yeah, paint a little square street white and change the planet. Come on. The LA Street Services began rolling out the project last May. I see what they did there, like rolling paint. They rolled it out last May, which preliminary testing shows has reduced the temperature of roadways by up to 10 degrees. Yeah, sure. On a shady day, it probably does the same thing. When it rains, probably does. You get enough homeless people erecting tents on the streets in LA, that's probably dropping it down. Although their body heat, maybe, I don't know, man. They talk about, like, cows and methane gas, cow farts are, like, polluting the planet. What about homeless people gathered on streets that aren't painted white in L.A., and they fart a lot? I digress. The project involves applying a light gray coating of the product Cool Seal. Oh, I wish I would have invented that. Cool Seal. Man, that's like a cool rap name. What's your name, dog? I'm Cool Seal. I'm Cool Seal. That didn't come out right. So, Cool Seal is applied like conventional seal coats to asphalt surfaces to protect and maintain the quality and longevity of the surface, according to the company's website. Well, I typed in Cool Seal, and I got, like, a bunch of weird songs by some dude with craters on his face. I don't know. While most cool pavements on the market are polymer-based, Cool Seal is a water-based asphalt emulsion. While each coating could last up to 7 years, they're also very pricey. $40,000 per mile. Okay. Just go with me here for a moment. Is $40,000 a mile a little bit too much money for a bankrupt freaking county? For a bankrupt state? I mean, they don't have money to do other stuff, but they can spend $40,000 a mile painting streets white in LA. And how long are they going to stay white? Like cars, rubber tires, dirt, rain, grime, oil. I mean, come on. It's the most asinine thing I think I've ever read in my life. Besides Glick's last post in the chat room, which says, "Finally, the Glick has come back to the chat. If you smell what the Glick is vaping, it smells like dick." Thank you. I'll be here twice on next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Speaking of next week, one of the funniest people I've ever met is going to be live in studio. Stand-up comedian, Tampa's finest, Tommy Gill. I cannot wait for that, man. That's going to be fantastic. I feel naked right now, like we should be playing the pyramid game. Like somebody should play the pyramid game with me, but there's no one here to play it with me. I'm all alone. That kind of sucks. But we'll muscle through it, because you know why? Because I got muscles. I do. I got lots of muscles. Mostly from the waist down, above the knee. Anyway. All right. How about this last story before we break? This one's just ridiculous. A man was arrested for masturbating at Tim Hortons in Farmington Hills. Look at this dude. All right. A man was arrested for masturbating in a Farmington Hills Tim Hortons location. His name is Ali. Guilty. It almost sounds like Holly. Like if I married a girl named Holly, I'd be Holly. She'd be Holly. Or, I don't know. So he's accused of putting his hands down his pants and rubbing himself at the 10 Mile Road, Tim Hortons, on April 2nd, Filbert's birthday. The manager reportedly saw that Ali was making other customers uncomfortable. So she asked him to leave twice. She's like, please leave. And then it didn't work. And she's like, you, with your hands down your pants, you need to leave. Probably sounds more feminine, like, you with your hands down your pants, please leave Tim Hortons right now. This is 10 Mile Road, you're not allowed to be spanking it here. The manager asked him to leave twice, and when he refused, she finally called the police. And then it turned into a party. Alright, so police say Ali was sitting with his arms crossed and his legs spread apart, and, oh my god, I can't believe this, and his penis erect. His arms crossed, so he's like, what's up? His legs are spread apart. He's like, yeah, check out my junk. And his dick's hard. Additionally, the man's pants were loose enough to allow him to put his hands down his pants. So according to police, he was not able to be interviewed due to a language barrier. So what did he speak, the language of love? He's like, check out his penis. And they're like, stop that! Put the gun away! It's not a gun, it's just my hands. It's penis, the language of love. Put that gun down! It's not a gun, stand down! Oh, did I go there? Ali was arrested, and he had an expired employment authorization card from Homeland Security saying he was from Sudan. He was arrested and he was charged with sex offenders, failure to comply with reporting duties, disorderly person, obscene conduct, and disturbing the peace. He was disturbing his own peace. Yes, this is a look at my peace. I just disturbed this for you. He received a $500,000 bond and is currently in the Oakland County Jail until his next court date. What do you think he's doing in that jail cell right now? He's like... Anyway, Glick is owning the chat room right now. He says his hands are in his pants. Cool. Welcome to the show, Glick. Welcome back, Glick! Woo! Oh, man. I really do love my friend Glick, and I know he's coming down to Tampa sometime in May. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I want to say I have something for Glick here. Yeah, right here.
How come you haven't ever fagged out Glick?
I've never fagged out Glick, man. I just haven't. I haven't done it. But, you know, we'll see him in a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Glick, when are you coming, man? When are you coming to Tampa? Will you be here for the birth of my Chihuahua puppies? Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. If you could hand deliver my Chihuahua puppies, that would be fantastic. Could you imagine that? It would be on Periscope. If it happened on a Saturday night, Glick would be like, oh, what's up, everybody? It's Glick. It's Glick Show live, Periscope. It's Saturday night, man. Vape and chill. The Glick Show, let's do this. And then he'd just start delivering Chihuahua puppies. Live on the air. I would go live for that. I would bring the studio to that. I have a home studio. We could do it. We could totally do it. We just call them as they come out, you know. They're all DACA recipients. Every one of these Chihuahua puppies is, anchor baby. Anyway, yeah, I know it's not funny. Whatever. All right. I've got a few things loaded up for the Facebook saved segment in the top of the 10 o'clock hour. And thank you guys for sticking around with the Kevin Holly Show. Stick around for the John LeBang Show at 11 p.m. on the IRN Internet Radio Network. Also, welcome listeners in the UK on WBRFM.com. The WBR is awesome. And I should probably play a little something for them before I go to break. Here we go. Well, here we go.
Attention, please. Attention, please. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. Hey, hey, hey! Loud noises! I'm only human after all.
WBRFM wants to say thank you for the support.
Attention, please. Attention.
Whoa, I think I messed that up. Anyway, I think that's totally awesome. We are spot on with the WBR-FM. Over in the UK, and I also want to thank all of our dedicated listeners, anybody new that's listening to the show. We have quite the reach now. We are on a few internet radio networks and different podcasting sites, and we go live on TuneIn and all this good stuff. And I really do appreciate the listeners, the people that text me, that message me on social media, the people that stick around the chat room for the full 3 hours or pop in and out. and especially those that stay interested when it's just myself. Because it's not easy, and I really appreciate that. So I try to put on a good program no matter who's here. And I think tonight was really cool with Sean Raz in the first hour. The second hour was just a little bit of mumbo-jumbo, a little strange news. The third hour, though, I've got a couple of things loaded up that I want to get into that do have a lot to do, kind of a callback to Sean Raz in the first hour. And just my opinions on a few things and some sound bites and some funny stuff. So I have one of the best breaks I've ever made loaded up right now. For this quick break. We're all going to go get a brewski, use the restrooms, tuck in your kids, and come back in about 10, 12 minutes for the final hour of the Kevin Holly Show.
Call now to the Kevin Holly Show at this number, plus this number, plus this number. And ask for Chuck.
Y'all be going on vacation? See, the thing is, if you about to be up out this biatch, check it. Peep Delta. We be flying all over this bitch. Let me ask you something. You finna raise up and get your travel on? From the interior to the exterior. You got to get your posterior in one of these big-ass planes. Dog, you lay in the cut straight sitting on your ass and getting your drink on and your snack on while we floss and fly this mofo all over this bitch. East Coast, West Coast, it don't matter. Nia will get you to your hoe and back lickety-splits. No Then you be back at your crib chilling with a flat spliff, thinking we was some crazy-ass angel. Hell, these fat, round, thick-ass vessels run up in the sky so deep, it be crying. Yeah, you thought it was rain. So bring a towel, because at Delta, it's laid out like that. Call one of these fly-ass Delta coochies, and make all them punk-ass co-workers of yours catch the vapors as you be off and up out. You going? We fly you there. You been? We done already flew up in there. We got you covered like a Jimmy hat. At Delta, we loves us some flying, and it be showing like a motherfucker.
Grab your pillow and your comfy pajamas. It's story time on The Kevin Holly Show.
Beating off in front of your dog is something we've all done. It's not something that's easy, it's not something that's fun, but sometimes it's the only way that the deed needs to get done. So you beat that meat by the little bitty feet, then you give him a treat, then you're done. It's not something that's fun, but sometimes it's the only way that the deed needs to get done. So you beat that meat with a little bit of meat, then you give him a treat, then you're done.
Chris Glick on the Kevin Holly Show. When he's in the room, he's ch***ing off.
This song is dedicated to all the men out there that don't seem to know how to keep that woman happy. I want y'all to take a little listen. See if you wanna try this. Some men think the height of a woman's pleasure is when he's kissing her on her lips. And some men think the joy of foreplay is caressing with his fingertips. And some men think a little titty kissing is the answer to every woman's dream. But let me tell you, I'll kiss her if you really want to hear her scream. You make her feel good, but you can make her feel better if you treat your lady like the stay up and let her lick it before you stick it. 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 Woo! Now all you fellas sitting there laughing, let me tell you this is no stage joke. If you really you take it between your lips. Wow! You're making her feel good, but you can make her feel better. If you treat your lady like a stamp in a letter, lick it before you stick it. Better lick it before you stick it. Lick it before you stick it. Don't lick it before you stick it. Hey! Now some men think a little kid kissing is the answer to every woman's dream. But let me tell you how to kiss her if you really want to hear her scream. Wow! You're making her feel good, but you can make her feel better. If you treat your lady like a stamp in a letter, lick it before you stick it. Don't lick it before you stick it. Lick it before you stick it. Hey, lick it before you stick it. Hey, lick it before you stick it. Lick it before you stick it. Lick it before you stick it. Better lick it before you stick it. Hey! Lick it before you stick it. Lick it. Lick it. Lick it. Lick it. Better lick it. Lick it. Lick it. Lick it. Ow! Stick it. Stick it. Stick it. Stick it. Better stick it. Stick it. Stick it. Stick it. Hey! You got it. I like it like that, baby. Before you stick it. That's all right. Lick it. Before you stick it. Oh yeah. Lick it. Before you stick it. Woo! Lick it before you stick it. Lick it before you stick it. Lick it before you stick it. Better lick it before you stick it. 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 Hey! The fellas got it. Now, girl, y'all can't stick it, but you sure can lick it.
He's got a shaved pelvic region, rubbed raw with razor burn. He has a full tattoo sleeve, but he also wears glasses. Many people tune in to listen to his weekly show. He pretends to like the guys while saving the number of any woman who calls. What the hell? He'll touch you. He doesn't care if you run away. You can't stop him. He'll molest you. He's gonna rape your ears again. 'Cause Kevin's balls are small, man. His balls are small. Yeah, Kevin's balls are small, man. His balls are small. Kevin's balls are small. Ha 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 ha
John Stillman on the Kevin Holly Show. He might be silly, but he's definitely not funny.
This is Kevin Holly, host of The Kevin Holly Show, live on the IRN Internet Radio Network. One time I fell down the stairs. I know somebody who actually put a cat in their freezer. I have 2 guinea pigs. I have a goldfish that's 5 years old. I have a huge suckerfish. It's a plico clitoris. You are listening to the IRN Internet Radio Network. The Kevin Holly Show, live on the IRN Internet Radio Network.
Swimming out to Southfield. Well, it's some electric eel. Swimming out to Cinder Steel. Got to keep even keel. Swimming out to in between meals. Let's all break down and you swimming out.
She said if we got married, buy a house and some land, pick out our circles of trust, those matching wedding bands, life would be so sweet, and I'd treat you oh so nice. We'll be rolling in the hay almost every night. Now 1 year later,
Honey, I need you to mow the grass, take out the trash, put the dishes in the dishwasher, and for heaven's sake, put the toilet seat down.
she only bitches when she breathes, rolling in the hips, that's her allergy. Won't wear no sexy lingerie since she ate that wedding cake. Only thing she blows is my money and dreams. Yeah, this circle of trust is like a fantasy. She stole my heart and then my self-esteem. I'll have to sum it up this way. She could turn a straight man gay. She only bitches when she breathes. She was always smiling, shy in many ways. She always kept me hanging on every word she'd say. She was sweeter than honey in every man's dream. She said, let's tie the knot, we'll make the perfect team. Now 1 year later,
I work all day just like you do. Why don't you wash your own clothes and buy some new underwear because these won't come clean. And by the way, not tonight, I have a headache.
she only bitches when she breathes, rolling in the hips, that's her allergy. Won't wear no sexy lingerie since she ate that wedding cake. Only thing she blows is my money and dreams. Yeah, this circle of trust is like a fantasy. She stole my heart and then my self-esteem. I'll have to sum it up this way. She could turn a straight man gay. She only bitches when she breathes. Yeah, she only bitches when she breathes. Rolling in the hips, that's her allergy. Won't wear no sexy lingerie since she ate that wedding cake. Only thing she blows is my money and dreams. Yeah, this circle of trust is like a fantasy. She stole my heart and then my self-esteem. I'll have to sum it up this way. She could turn a straight man gay. She only bitches when she breathes. I'll have to sum it up this way. She could turn a straight man gay. She only bitches when she breathes.
Me anymore.
graduation, I don't have them. Now it's 3 years later and I still haven't walked. Used to get kicked out of class, now I get paid for when I talk. And you can tell by my speech that I come from the beach. And I know that you're pissed cause you didn't make this beat. And I know that you don't like me, but I know you like my flow. I know that you don't like me cause I say dude and bro. A lot of rappers talking about things that they don't know. I know to do drugs, have sex, get drunk and rock a show. I love coming home cause it's always so wonderful. Cause when you're in your neighborhood, you're much more comfortable.
Alone as a distant wishes away. You could be home where I fit in. I reminisce about the days when we didn't care. The dirty kids with no shoes and long hair. No car or front porch and 2 chairs. No place to go, yo, and no way to get there. It's Cali women be the best I've seen. They be the best I've seen. They be the best I've seen. And Cali weed be the brightest green. They be the brightest green. They be the brightest green.
Is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial? I've got a pirate radio station. Nobody knows who he is.
You out there? You listening?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the third hour, the final hour of the Kevin Holly Show. I be your host, Yo Wigga. I said it with a W. Like a win. Yo winner. I'm hoping with that, all those Pirates jokes in the beginning of the show that the Cubs are winning. I'm not even going to check. I don't want to jinx anybody, especially the Penguins, because all my Pirates friends that are watching the Cubs game are probably watching the Pens game, and, you know, they're very passionate about their hockey, much like we are here in Florida with our Lightning Go Bolts. So, anyway, welcome back, everybody. I'm alone in the dump tower. Now, I mean, nobody's ever really alone in the dump tower. We never really are, okay? But I feel like, I don't know, I'm creeped out. When I'm here by myself, you know, I know that I'm safe. I mean, I'm packing heat. I got locks on the doors. You know, it's like I can see the parking lot. I can see 19. I could sleep here. You know, I'm not scared. But it's creepy as fuck. It really is, man. It's so creepy. And I'm loving the chat room tonight, man. The third hour of the chat room is always the best. If you're listening on Spreaker or on KevinHollyShow.com, join us in the chat room. We got Stand Down Dale. We got Nitwit. We got Spicoli. It's always fun. We're talking about Mike Tyree from Open Mic Live as I hiccup throughout the show here. Oh, my God. I don't know, man. I had chili. A lot of it. I had a lot of chili, so it is what it is. But we're talking about Mike's sleeves or lack thereof. You know, it's like the dude, I mean, he's like sleeveless Mike. Can we call him that? I don't even know. But anyway, yeah, so everybody in the chat room, welcome. And if you're listening on IRN, Internet Radio Network, IRNbroadcast.com, stick around because in a short while, like literally 36 minutes, you have a treat in store. It's called The John LeBang Show, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's always a good time. Also, check out our replay. If you want to listen to the beginning of the show, anything you missed, immediately after the show tonight at roughly 11:01 p.m., this show will be available for streaming and free download on Spreaker.com. That's with an R, Spreaker.com. Wow, I can spell. Look at that big brain on Kevin! Special thanks to Sean Raspatello, my favorite conspiracy guy, who called in the first hour. And we talked about some stuff, and it was actually a lot of fun. But I have a few things I wanted to bring up with him that I couldn't get to because, he's got a family, he's got his own stuff, he's got his own network, RazRadio.com, RazRadioLive.com. I mean, come on. How cool is that, man? You ever heard of Kinky Katie Radio? Dude. And dudettes. If you can stomach it, because we're talking about like an adult female hot chick, that does like this kinky sex talk radio deal. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's really good. I really like it. Of all the shows on Radio Chaos and all the shows on Raz Radio Live, I think that might be my favorite. It's a close call with the When the Shit Hits the Fan show with Don Pontius, which I don't know, that guy's awesome. But anyway, so Sean Raz and I were talking earlier about we touched on Zuckerberg. Okay, and Mark Zuckerberg, the head honcho over there at Facebook, and he's been in front of the Senate and Congress and whatever the last 2 days, and it's been all over TV and all that good stuff. Wow, Glick. Glick says that Kinky Katie has the nicest set of tatas. I suppose they're pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm engaged man, and I don't like to comment too much on other women's boobies, but yeah, they're pretty nice. I would suppose you could say that, technically speaking. Nice tits! Woo! Alright, so anyway, we're talking about Zuckerberg, and I'm wondering, okay, these guys make these laws. These are our lawmakers, people we voted as a country into office to legislate, to make laws, alright? And these are some of the things that they actually said during the Zuckerberg hearings, if you will, if you can call them that. Tickle bitties! Woo! I'm pulling it up right now. Take your time, Facebook. Oh my God, I'm pulling up a Zuckerberg on Facebook. Here we go. These are confused people in Congress and the Senate.
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
He runs ads. That's Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican out of Utah. How do you sustain a business when people don't pay for your service? And he's like, we run ads. It's pretty simple. Listen how dumb these people get.
Is this guy outfoxing the foxes, or is he going along with what is a major trend in an information age to try to harvest information for political forces?
There are days when I wonder if the Facebook friends is a little misstated. It doesn't seem like I have those every single day.
So how many data categories do you store? Does Facebook store?
Senator, can you clarify what you mean?
How many does Facebook store out of that? Do you store any?
Senator, I'm not actually sure what that is referring to.
Now, my son Charlie, who's 13, is dedicated to Instagram.
Hi,
so
Charlie!
He'd want to be sure I mentioned him while I was here with
Senator Roy Blunt.
If I'm emailing within WhatsApp, does that ever inform your advertisers?
No, we don't see any of the content in WhatsApp. It's fully encrypted.
Let's say I'm emailing about Black Panther within WhatsApp. Do I get a Black Panther banner ad?
Senator, Facebook systems do not see the content of messages being transferred over WhatsApp.
Yeah, I know, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking about whether these systems talk to each other without a human being touching it.
Yeah, good thing that these lawmakers are protecting your online privacy, right? Those are the kind of questions that were being asked. Now, we all know, anybody with half a brain knows that Zuckerberg was dodging questions, and I'll get my team to refer back to me with that answer. He totally was. A lot of people are saying that he's just a liar. He totally knows that they're selling our information. Not that it matters, but everybody knows this. But the questions that these lawmakers were asking were just asinine. And yeah, you're cherry picking them because there was a few hours of content, but you know, sometimes you have to cherry pick to just exploit the just ridiculousness, the idiocracy, if you will, of what really happened. You know, I mean, come on. You know, Luke McDermott, another comic out here in Tampa, had a great post. That's where I found this. He asked, you know, can my grandpa see my grandkids on your Facebook machine or something like that, you know? It's like, oh my God, come on, man. How dumb are people, really? Not Luke, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I don't get it. And then it leads me to what I kind of wanted to start the show with this topic. And I didn't do it because I didn't want to get into it and then have to take a call or another call that had nothing to do with the topic. So I just figured I'd save it if we had time for the last hour. And we have time, and it's the last hour, so I'm going to let it roll and just go with it, okay? Stupidest things that I came up with in not a lot of searching tonight. I really didn't put a lot of effort into this. And Nitwit in the chat room says, Zuckerberg didn't share his text messages with us. It seems unfair. You know, that's funny you say that, Nitwit, because I remember somebody asking Zuckerberg, you know, about where did you stay last night? What hotel did you stay in last night? And Zuckerberg's like, I'm not comfortable saying it, you know, but everybody else that's a user, you know, and somebody else in Congress had something sharp to say along the lines of your user agreement sucks, is what they said. I thought that was fantastic, you know. And all that being said, I mean, you know, what are you going to really do? What is anybody going to do? What, are you going to not go on Facebook? Are you going to go shut off all your settings? Oh, no, I can't agree to this. You're going to delete some apps. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook. It doesn't matter if it's Instagram or Twitter or WhatsApp or Hangouts or your cell phone just texting. You know, it doesn't matter. All of it, everything. Look at every traffic stoplight on every major thoroughfare that you travel down. There's cameras on all of them. Go on any toll road. They don't even take coins anymore. They have cameras that snap a picture of your license plate. They're using facial recognition. They're using your Sun Pass, you know, your pass that you suction cup to your windshield so you can prepay for tolls out of your bank account, you know, the Sun Pass, whatever it might be called in other states. In Florida, it's the Sun Pass. They're using that. It's a transponder. They're using that. And don't call me a weirdo for using a word like transponder. That's literally what it is. And it's basically like, think of like racing RC cars around a carpet oval track. Remember that in the 90s, how cool that was? I was a champion of that, man. I got trophies. I just found them in my attic. I'm making a trophy room in the dump tower. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, you think about that. Before every race, they would give us an assigned transponder with a little clip. And you would put it through a hole in the body of your RC car and clip it so it just hung inside of your car. And it was like a little magnet, okay? And there was a little wooden bridge with some wires going across it. And every time your car or any car went underneath that little bridge, it would count the time. And it would time it. It would time the lap. And that's how they had a foolproof way of knowing in a neck-and-neck finish who actually won. And your transponder had to be mounted in the middle of your vehicle. You couldn't mount it in the front or the back. It had to be dead center. And they inspected the cars before the races, or they inspected the winners after the races to make sure that they were compliant. If they weren't, you get a DNF. It did not finish. You'd be disqualified, a DQ, whatever. So you think about your transponder when you're going down the highway on a toll road, and it's that little prepaid thing that's on your windshield. Well, when you go under that tower, it's the same concept. You're going under that tower at a certain speed and a certain time, and it's logged electronically, and it goes to God knows where. And there's cameras taking pictures of your face and your license plate, front and back. And when you go to the next one, if you get there too quickly, they know you're speeding. They know you left the first checkpoint at X amount time and X amount speed. And when you get to the second one, if you got there quicker than a 65-mile-an-hour object would travel, well, then you're going to get a speeding ticket mailed to you. Everybody is being watched. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not some weird, crazy train of thought. You know, you're not a right-winger or a left-winger or a flat earther or a birther. None of that applies. It's fact. That's happening. So are we really going to get upset about compliance with a user agreement on social media? Does it really matter? Who cares? The important part of this whole ensemble of craziness is these lawmaking politicians are so out of touch. They are asking the dumbest questions. If I like the movie Black Panther and text somebody through WhatsApp, am I going to get a Black Panther banner ad? And Zuckerberg's like, no, because it's fully encrypted. He's like, well, I understand that, but I'm asking you. I mean, that's not what I'm asking. Are you kidding me? How dumb could you possibly be? Oh, man. Yeah, Dick Durbin. Thank you, Nitwort. Dick Durbin out of Illinois. And also, what's his name? Leslie Graham? Graham, another senator out of Illinois. Who, I mean, come on, that's the same guy that was like, oh, the president said that country's a shithole. And there's no evidence of it, but Lindsey Graham is just like, he said it. It's going to make me cry. How many of these politicians, like, make crocodile tears, you know? There's so much to talk about. And that's not the basis of my show. I really try to make it funny, but, yeah, Stan says the user agreement is, the Bible is sometimes shorter than some user agreements. I understand that, and that's why you should go on to the Google Play Store and get the Kevin Holly Show app. We don't ask for a lot of stuff in the user agreement at all. We just ask, like, could we turn your phone's speaker on so you can hear us? That's it. You know? That's how it should be. It sucks that you get, like, all these ads based on stuff you've clicked, I like this, on Facebook and other social media outlets, and then you get suckered into one, and you've got to have this app to make the stupid photos where I make myself bigger than everybody around me because I'm so short. I got to have that. And I get it, and there's 900 different user agreement stipulations where I have to, like, you know, are you willing to give up your social security number and mother's maiden name? Is it cool if we know your penis size? Will you pee in a bathroom stall with the door open? All these different things. Like, do you drive a Kia Soul? What? Kia Souls are badass, man. I dare any of you to go on social media right now and go to any Kia dealership, click on a Kia Soul, and click like. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind how badass the Kia Soul is. Anyway, I think it's ridiculous. And to have this kind of stuff make Congress and Senate hearings and then be blasted on every major news network on TV and all their affiliates, are you kidding me? That's news? That's what we're talking about right now? And it's a narrative. We all know it is. It's a narrative. Are you guilty of persuading people with Russian ads on social media? Are people's information getting sold in third-party companies? And then are they being heavily influenced so they'll vote a certain way? And all that's a farce. What they're doing is probably, in my opinion, giving Zuckerberg the out. Letting him have the out. Let him keep doing it. Let him do it even more. Where were they 10 years ago? Oh, to me, it's just ridiculous. It really is, man. You want to say false flags. You want to say conspiracy theories. You know, it's like net neutrality. Oh my God, net neutrality sounds like such a peaceful thing. It's neutral. It's net neutrality. Oh, that means stuff's gotta be regulated. Are you gonna trust these guys? These guys that I just played, their sound bites? Those guys, are you gonna trust them to let us know, to let you know what's neutral or not? To let them censor what you should or shouldn't hear? And then the same people on the side of the coin that are vying for that are calling everybody else Nazis and fascists. Maybe I'm too smart for comedy. Because this is not funny at all. I don't know, man. It just irks me a certain way. And one of my favorite sound bites, okay, of a dumbass politician saying something ridiculously stupid is Harry Reid. I want to say this is back in 2010, something like that. Okay. Senate Minority Leader at the time, I believe, Harry Reid, a Democrat from California, he tells about how global warming caused the California wildfires that year. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I'm not going to get into this big global warming debate. Everybody wants a clean planet. Come on, we all do. There might be a handful of millionaire or wannabe millionaire company owners, business people that are like, fuck the environment, because we want to make money, and if we fuck the environment for a long enough time, we get rich. I get that. And screw those people. There's nobody in my listening audience on either side of the coin that disagrees with that. We all want a clean planet. Nobody wants to pollute. I don't care where you lean, left or right. We all understand this, but there's such BS out there that's pushing it politically. Buying carbon credits and what's your carbon footprint and just scare tactics. The earth is going to melt and it's going to be a water world. And, you know, here's one. Listen to Harry Reid. He really says this.
We're going to continue to work to get a bill one way or the other because energy is important. As you know, one reason that we have the fires burning in Southern California is global warming.
Really?
Reaction now from Republican Congressman Brian Bilbray of California. He joins me on the phone. 3 people have died in his district. Congressman, first my condolences to you. I know this can't be an easy time for you. But now the sentiment on the Hill that, hey, it's global warming's fault. What do you make of that?
Look, Harry Reid is actually a big secret, is actually a family friend, but he's totally off base on this one. You know, to try to spin everything for some kind of agenda. I believe that we have serious issues we need to address with climate change. But these fires are Santa Anas that have been around for 1,000 years. The Indians knew about them, and you know, for Harry to be now trying to spin this on something else. I hope he supports nuclear power to reduce global warming as much as he seems to want to, take political advantage with the fact that we've got a crisis here.
I love that. I hope that he supports nuclear power. You think about this, man. Harry Reid legitimately at the podium in front of everybody. What's the popular word to call everybody nowadays? Constituents. In front of all of his constituents and others, he literally, figuratively blamed the Santa Ana fires of 2010 or 9 or whatever it was on global warming. It's getting hot outside, man. This planet's getting hot. Fires are starting. Come on, man. Even mumble rappers aren't saying that stuff. And if they are, you discredit it. So, who is more credible? A mumble rapper or freaking Harry Reid, man? No offense to mumble rappers out there. I'm sure there's a lot of very intelligent mumble rappers. I'm just saying. Come on, man. That is just the most ridiculous thing I could think of. It's like, that one always hits home, you know? Then you think about, like, gun control. Oh, gun control. Let's get in a big debate on the Kevin Hawley Show about gun control. Let's not, okay? But let's expose some of the stupidest things I've ever heard a politician say about it, starting with Jesse Jackson.
You know, semi-automatic weapons are not just about gun control. This is about national security. You know that these weapons can shoot down airplanes. They can blow up railroads.
Really? They can shoot down airplanes?
In February, you introduced the Assault Weapons Ban and Law Enforcement Protection Act of 2007. It would regulate semi-automatic assault weapons, including weapons that have pistol grips, a forward grip, and something called a barrel shroud. Weapons with a barrel shroud would be regulated. What's a barrel shroud, and why should we regulate it?
I actually don't know what a barrel shroud is.
Because it's in your legislation.
It's a shoulder thing that goes up.
But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks with more than 3 rounds, and yet it's legal to hunt humans.
think the Second Amendment is in the Constitution so that we can have muskets when the British people come over in 1800.
Hold on a second. Before Rosie said that crap about muskets, which is so easily debated and squelched, but the other one, Dianne Feinstein, I believe is who it was. Hold on a second here. Let me play it again. This is awesome. This one kind of hits home for me a little bit too, just because it's like it's just so dumb. Like how do you? Here, I'll play it again and tell me how dumb this is.
We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks with more than 3 rounds, and yet it's legal to hunt humans.
It's legal to hunt humans. Where do we start, man? Walmart? I don't know. No, please don't. I love Walmart. But, I mean, what is it? You can't have more than 3 bullets to hunt ducks, but it's legal to hunt humans. Where is that, dude? I want to hunt humans. If it's legal, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know, I play paintball. I like racing. You know, we can hunt humans. What, does that make me a bad person now? Oh, Kevin Hawley, you're a bad person because you want to hunt humans. Fuck that. If it's legal, it's legal. Everybody's fighting for what's legal. Let's ban this. Let's ban that. Let's make this illegal. Nobody's ever talked about something that should be legalized except for pot. Except for pot. That's it. What else should be legalized? You know? Anyway, Rosie. I can't wait to hear from Rosie. Here we go.
I think the Second Amendment is in the Constitution so that we can have muskets when the British people come over in 1800.
There's been a lot of people that have been shot by an unloaded gun.
At some point, we as a country will have to reckon with the fact that this type of mass violence does not happen in other advanced countries.
This is a ghost gun.
A ghost gun.
This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
And I cannot tell you how many times
it's a fucking laser gun.
We have been fearful of letting our animals out because all of these law-abiding citizens are shooting back and forth in front of our house and behind our house and around our house.
Why you can walk down the streets in an American city carrying a concealed weapon without a license is wacky.
Well, I didn't say without a license. I think.
I'm talking about that's what's going on. I'm talking about a different point here.
No,
I want to see people disarmed. I want people disarmed in our major cities. How's that for a plan?
The pair of you would like to have the right to have a tank, and you don't agree with it.
Now you're committing straw man.
President Obama's proposes to gun control. And you know something? It makes me sick when I hear people say that kind of thing.
How about banning guns in every city? Yeah! Come on. You know, these people just keep spitting out this nonsense. Is this Joe Biden? We've got 20 seconds left. Let's play.
You want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun. As I told my wife, I said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts.
That coming from the same guy that will molest your grandkids, Uncle Joe Biden. Nothing creepy about that guy. But yeah, so that's okay? A double-barrel shotgun. Okay. Like I said, I don't want to get into a gun debate, but a double-barrel shotgun. If you had slugs, okay? I mean, that is a really, really... if you're going to hunt humans, I would probably go with the double-barreled shotgun over, I don't know, a small caliber semi-automatic rifle like an AR-15. Excuse me. I'm dying over here. Anyway, I should mumble rap. All right, I got one more, and like I said, the narrative of this segment is that...
Quit distorting our words.
Quit distorting our words. That's the narrative of this description. It's just the dumbest things that politicians could say. You know what I mean? Things that are just proven to not work, or they're just so far away from the actual facts. Like this whole Zuckerberg thing, it seems to me like it's fake. Like, I mean, yeah, he lied up there. He totally was dodging questions, but the people asking the questions had no clue what their questions should even be. Did they do less content research than I do for my podcast? I mean, come on, man. And how does a guy that is elected to make $120,000 a year end up a multi-millionaire after 4 or 6 years? All of them, you know? what do you call 40 million? What do you call 40 millionaires watching the World Series? The Pittsburgh Pirates. Thank you. Here we go.
If I see it, it's bull. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Making sure that these kids have a shot at the American dream.
John Boner, start crying.
Mayor. It's important.
Well, now for the first time I can tell you that you're a disaster.
Bill Clinton was not a disaster. That's why people like him.
You get the right attribution there.
This is why people like Bill. Look, he looks good. He looks good in this little clip right here. He's kind of chubby. He's laughing. He's got a nice smile. He's probably high on cocaine. Look at him. Is he drunk?
We cannot sustain. Whoops. Was that my? Oh goodness. That's all right. All of you know who I am.
Rick, I'll tell you what. $10,000? $10,000 bet?
And I think at the top of our list is providing for the safety and security of the American people.
Oh, he's crying again, man. Boehner just signed up to be on the what was it? A board member of a pro-marijuana thing. What's up, Aaron? Calling the Kevin Holly Show. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Figured I'd call and say hello. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's Kansas treating you?
I can't wait to leave, man. I leave on Sunday and I go up to Springfield, Illinois for a month.
Springfield, the capital city of Illinois.
Yeah, I'm in the capital, Kansas, right now.
Dude, you're pretty. We should run for office, man. Orifice.
You should what?
Run for orifice?
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Wait, you said you should, meaning me? I'm not running for anything.
There was actually, just in the paper last week here in Kansas, there was like a 16 and a 17-year-old kid who's running for something in the political office, but there's no age restriction. So now he's going to be on the ballot.
Can you vote even though you're not a citizen of, or are you?
No, I live in Florida.
Dude, so when you go to Springfield, will you try to find like a Confederate statue and take a selfie with it?
I can do that for you.
That would be awesome.
But I'm gonna have to hold a sign, so now you got to come up with a sign that I got to put on the sign.
Oh, dude, I got it. Make it a rainbow sign and wear a pussy hat and have it say "gay" for hashtag TKHS for the Kevin Holly Show. What?
Done deal.
Burgay did it.
I'll do it.
Oh man, so I miss you, dude. It's like here I am alone, and if Aaron was in studio with me, I wouldn't be alone, and we would be laughing and eating Doritos and talking about girls and cars and sex and titties. But instead, I'm alone in the dump tower.
Yeah, man. How have you been for the past 2 hours and 45 minutes? Have you been talking in circles? Because I kind of got off after the first hour.
I got off too. Yeah. Hey, so did Sean Raz. Oh, no. Wait, you get it? You get it? Hey, welcome back to the show, Aaron. No, I don't remember any of it, man. I had some Flocka earlier. You know Flocka, and
cool.
Yeah.
Did you eat the wrappers?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, is that a trick question?
The wrappers down the hall.
Yeah.
Not the wrappers or the Flocka.
Son of a bitch. Stan.
Yo, I still love the fact that when fucking Gilbert had to walk downstairs last week.
Yeah, dude, that was 2 weeks ago. You're like, I'm here, man, let me in. And he's like, all right, I'll go down there. And we just let him go. He came back, he was mad. He was like, he was mad, but he wasn't mad. But I'll tell you what, man, he hasn't been back in 2 weeks. So, should I fire him right now?
I think you should.
Fucking Filbert, you're fired. You're fired. Yeah, I like that.
And then next week I'll try to get off early. I'll get off early, and then I'll try to duel in with you so that I can see your co-host for you.
You kind of what? Duel in with me?
Yeah, I'll duel. DUAL. Duel in.
Oh, yeah, a phoner is cool. I mean, you don't have to make it sound like two chihuahuas are getting it on. You know what I mean? I'll duel with you.
Well, hey, by the way, how did your girl get pregnant? Is your dick that small?
You're fired. Yeah, dude, no. It's huge, and that's how. No, man, it was weird, dude. We get this, like, free Chihuahua, like, kitten, you know, this little Chihuahua girl. And they told me it was, like, 2 or 3 months old, and that all it needed was its last round of shots. So we took it to the same veterinarian to get the last round of shots, and they told us it was, like, 8 months old, according to the papers. And I was like, crap, okay, cool. It's older, you know? And I thought it was going to be a challenge to train it because it's older than I thought it was, you know? Well, like a week later, the dog goes into heat. And that was the week that we had signed up my other dog, Buddy, to get fixed. And, yeah, you know, we weren't paying attention enough. I know they're quick, man. And she's in heat, and Buddy was all over her, and I caught him tangled up on the couch. And, yeah, dude, so now she's got her high beams on, dude. You know, she's getting chubby. She eats all the time. She pees all the time. Barefoot and pregnant, man. I'm going to get her a moo-moo. It's going to say Ron on it.
All right, cool. Do that, man.
Yeah, like a Tweety bird. You know, like a Tweety bird of Ron. You know those moo-moos that the fat white trash women wear at Disney and Walmart? What?
All right, man. Let me let you go so you can finish up your show. I know it's almost over.
Oh, bro, I wanted to keep you for like another 2.5 minutes so I could finish up the show. But okay, whatever, man.
All right. See ya.
See ya. Love you. Wow.
He's a nasty guy. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him anywhere once they get to know him.
That's right, Aaron. You're a nasty little guy, man. You know?
She's killed hundreds of thousands of people with her stupidity.
Anyway. Wow. So, if you're watching your wife get railed by a guy from Canada with a mullet and a hockey stick, is that knuckleding? Thank you! Thank you! Woo! Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, I gotta get rid of this Trump soundboard. I'm giving away my secrets. My secrets, bro. So I had a lot of fun last night with Ryan Hoppy and Hoppy Hour. He brought his friend AJZ from 102.5 The Bone. And both those guys were fantastic. They brought a couple of friends. Melissa was here. We had a really, really good time. So check out Hoppy Hour last night if you want to hear me with other people and not just by myself. That was fun. You know, I'm just in the background, just like trying to make jokes. I feel like I was a dick. You know, I don't know, but wow, everybody's saying we got an echo, man. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what to do about it. I mean, I could turn everything down, but it's like everything's quiet. I bet the Spreaker feed's probably okay. Probably not okay. IRN's probably better. I don't know, man. I don't know. Echo. There's nothing I can do. And there really isn't. That's the problem, man. I think I have a bad soundboard, man. I think I need like some more professional equipment. So I'm hoping that I'm pretty sure I have the winning lotto ticket in my wallet tonight. So if that's the case, then I will probably be coming back with a better board next week. You know, maybe I'll take a week off. Go to the Caribbean. Wow, apparently we've lost internet everywhere except for the hard line here. That's great. Gotta love that. We lost Wi-Fi, but apparently I'm still connected on the hard line. Let me just check the feeds. Good thing it's at the end of the road here. Yeah, we're still live on the IRN, and we're still live on WBR FM. And still live on Spreaker, so the main server still works, but everything else is done. I know that Mackie Pro FX16, dude, I've been looking at that, checking it out on eBay. That is a badass little piece of equipment. I actually was looking at something, I don't know, man. I'm working with some crap right now. I mean, I've got a 12 channel, it's all good, but, I don't know, man. I'll get around to it later. I probably will hit you up, Kirk, and see what you recommend. I'd like to get a compressor as well, so we can scream and shout in here without moving our faces away from the mic, like they do on Spicoli TV. So anyway, everybody, listen, we're running up against the end of the show, and I want to personally thank everybody that's been in the chat room with us tonight, all the Lionel Nation listeners, ironbroadcast.com, WBRFM in the UK, WBRFM.com, also RadioChaos.net, Sean Raspatello, the First 52, Raz Radio Live. Check all that stuff out. Thanks to all my friends in the chat room. You guys are awesome. Check out Open Mic Live. Check out Nitwit.tv, Spicoli.tv, The Glick Show. All these guys are fantastic, and we're all family, and it's badass, and I really, really appreciate everybody. Special thanks to Ryan Hoppy for including me in Happy Hour last night. That was a lot of fun. He actually had his newest co-host sign a contract. I have it right here. I have it right here. It's actually a client contract for a building inspection. And AJ signed it, Dick Savage. I'll probably take a picture of that. Hoppy, don't leave your shit behind in my studio because I will exploit your ass, man. Anyway, that being said, I appreciate everybody so much. Check us out again next week with Tommy Gill, live on The Kevin Holly Show, Wednesday at 8 p.m. We will see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Kevin's getting tired. It's time to end the show. He really freaking blew. It's end of the Kevin Holly Show.
I'd like to thank you for listening to the Kevin Holly Show. I hope you've had as much fun as we have bringing it to you. It's really been a pleasure, and be sure and get us again next week.
Okay, bye-bye.